Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another edition of Boys in the Back. This time Thursday, October. Yes, October 2nd. It is my favorite month of the year. We made it. I am one-third of the Boys in the Back. Connor Burks joined alongside me as always. Pretty Ricky! Mr. New York Rick, how we doing, brother?
I'm good. How about you? I like the fact that we turned it over into October. I'm ready.
Love October. 5 Thursdays in this month, so we're kind of bookending the 2nd and the 30th. You'll be with us on Thursdays. You just get that. We're starting to get that fall crispiness in the air. Last night I was walking around when I was heading home. I was like, I feel it. I don't yet smell it. There comes a day where you walk out and it's just like, oh yeah, it smells like fall. Same thing with spring. It's great. Love October.
Have we started the PSLs? Have we started?
Oh yeah. Started those actually on the day the season turned over to fall. So like September 22nd. Yeah, started up with the Nespresso machines, the pumpkin flavoring. It's good stuff. Made some homemade apple cider.
Wow.
I mean, we're really turning the leaf now. It's time for horror movies. Football's going on. You got playoff baseball going on. It's the best. And we got a stacked weekend of combat sports, UFC 320, BKFC, PFL. What more could you ask for? The sports calendar is on fire. It's a great month. I'm feeling good. Frankie, how you feeling back there, man?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm actually doing really well. Lunch was good. Got you guys mic'd up. Thought it was fun to be able to start the show off today with such high energy. Thanks for asking.
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. We got post-show plans. We're going to the Smashing Machine gift shop activation afterwards. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great.
The Frank energy is different today. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm just acknowledging that. And we will see how that plays out for the rest of the show.
Of you. That's why you're in charge.
I don't like this. I don't like what's going on here, but we will ride with it.
I'm loving it. Keep it going, Frankie. We start this show as it feels like we've began every Boys in the Back as of late with some news pertaining to the White House guard and Conor McGregor. He was on Sean Hannity last night on Fox News, and he had this to say in regards to his fight taking place next June at the White House.
It can ignite a support for the people of Ireland.
Is this a done deal?
Because we need.
Are you definitely? Is this a done deal? You're in.
Done
You made
deal,
a deal.
signed, delivered. It ain't a negotiation.
Wow.
It's a done deal, signed, delivered. McGregor will compete in the White House for UFC's 200 for the America's 250th
Did you talk
birthday.
to Dana about it? Dana's got to sign off, I would imagine. No.
Me and Dana are in constant communications. We've done incredible business together. I'm the highest generating fighter of all time in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. They've just signed a breathtaking deal with Paramount where we go to cable TV. $7.7 billion that deal was accrued for, and ready to rock, baby. Bring in the big dog, the Mac G.
All right, so do you think it is officially signed and sealed? It's all good. We're done.
I do not want to call Conor McGregor a liar. I do not believe that it is signed, sealed, and done. This is a weird situation because Conor is out there saying he's not negotiating with the UFC. He's negotiating directly with the White House, the cabinet of the president. And the fact that he said, Dana White and I are in communication, that I believe. But do I believe that him and Dana White have had a full discussion on this is the date, this is the weight, this is the opponent, sign the... No, I don't believe that for 1 second. Do I believe that he will likely be headlining this card? Yes. Do I believe that all signs would point to that and that they're moving in that direction and everything's good? Yes, but it is now October 2nd and that card's not happening till late June. So I don't really believe that there's any reason it would be signed, nor do I think that if it was signed now that that's any sure sign of anything come months from now.
8.5 months until that fight card likely takes place. Like you said, for it to be signed and sealed, that means there's a date, there's an opponent, there's a weight class that they've decided on. I am with you. I highly doubt that it's actually signed, but it does make me feel like he's going to fight on the card.
Yeah. All the signs to me are pointing toward that. I have no reason to doubt that he and Dana White are discussing this. I have no reason to doubt, honestly, that he's discussing this with members of the president's cabinet and others involved as well. So I'm sure that this looks like it will happen right now on October 2nd. But again, we have 8.5 months to go. Let's see what ultimately happens by then. But yeah, more positive signs in the direction of like Conor wants to fight on this card. Dana talks about Conor fighting on this card. This is the new UFC 300. This is the every single time there's any crumb of anything, we're going to be talking about it. And to be honest, like rightfully so. I know it's getting a little bit tiresome, but in reality, this is going to be the biggest card in MMA history. This is going to be the most significant event in MMA history to this point. And so it's worth the discussion. But yes, I don't necessarily feel like there was any like new news there.
Yeah, I just feel like from the sheer size of it, we discussed it yesterday that it's going to end up being like a Hill versus Pereira type thing.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's the case. I think you need the fight to match it, whether it's McGregor, whether it's John Jones, anything like that. But it is interesting to see him go on a massive platform. Like Sean Hannity might be more for the old heads, but like, dude, the numbers that Fox News and Sean Hannity brings in are insane. That's where you get that more casual audience. That's where you get my mom texting me being like, oh, is there really a White House card happening? So for him to go on and say that it's a done deal, it's signed and delivered, feels significant to me. He also had another quote from the show where he talked about how it's going to be a 6-month training camp for
I just
him.
want to clarify one thing. This was actually from a roundtable that he was doing with BKFC.
Yes.
This was not from Hannity.
Thank you for clarifying that. I have 8 months out from the White House event. I consider it a 6-month operation to get ready for this bout. That's my focus right now. I'm eager to climb the steps into being ready for my return. There is a lot at stake. So it sounds like if it's going to take place in mid to late June, like we're talking like Christmas time, I would love nothing more than to see him like lock in, get off the socials, stop seeing him so often in public and in different places and looking like he's, having great times and everything like that, really start locking in around Christmas time.
Yeah, and I do think that is what will be required, right? Like for Conor McGregor, the problem is never like if you show up on fight night, can you fight? Like that's not the issue. The issue is Conor McGregor has attained a status, has reached a level where everything outside of the cage is the obstacle, right? It is not the can Conor McGregor train for a fight. It is can Conor McGregor train for a fight when he's doing a brand deal here or doing this or doing a showing or blah, blah, blah. There are a million other things that distract him and pull him away from this or legal issues. There's lots of other things that are at play when it comes to Conor McGregor. So if he were to lock himself in and do it that way, I believe that is the only way he can ultimately hope to achieve success.
And he mentioned it in the interview with Hannity. He talked about how long he's been out of the fight game. He's like, I've been out of the fight game for several years now. So I think he realizes what is at hand with the fight being at the White House and also how much he needs to do to get ready for this.
Yeah, and another just declaration of his seriousness about fighting on this card. And so, as we said, long way away, remains to be seen. But every step along the way has led me to believe that he will be motivated to fight on this card.
We did get some concrete fight news last night from Dana White. He went live on Instagram and broke news about UFC Qatar. We got a main event for that one. Arman Tsarukyan will be taking on Dan Hooker, and Belal Muhammad will be taking on Ian Machado Garry in the co-main event. 2 fantastic fights. 2 fights with a ton at stake. I mean, you could potentially have the 2 winners of these 2 fights fighting for the title next.
Absolutely. No doubt about it that these guys could be next. Or not. Let's say I don't think that the winner of this fight will get the next lightweight title shot because I think that this is an indication that there will be somebody else getting a lightweight title shot, right? The booking of this tells me that it's not Arman Tsarukyan and somebody else will get next. I do believe that Arman's next fight, if he wins, could be.
That's
Dan
what
Hooker's
I'm saying.
next fight could be.
That's
but
what I'm saying. Their next fight, the winner's next fight could be for the title.
Absolutely.
No, I actually think we can just get right into it. I think this implies that it'll likely be Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett.
Or Justin Gaethje in like a real outside chance scenario. Let's say Paddy's not ready, something like that. I imagine it will be Paddy. I would hope that it would be Paddy. I think that fight makes a lot more sense.
I think something would have to be wrong with Paddy.
But if Paddy can't go, right, now you don't want to put Ilia Topuria on the sidelines for that long that you're not getting one of these fights. And so maybe Justin Gaethje or somebody else does get in there. Or if Arman Tsarukyan or Dan Hooker has a fantastic performance, maybe you do turn them around quickly and maybe they are next for Ilia Topuria. But ultimately, I do think this is a nod toward the Ilia-Paddy fight. And this would be the fight after that. The winner of this certainly has to be in line for the fight after that.
It's also just a fight that's going to have a great build. Dan Hooker was talking to our guys over at Submission Radio, and mentioned sort of like they've had a history on Twitter. They've had beef before. They don't like each other, and they talked about what'll happen if they see each other before the fight.
When it comes to Arman and this fight week, do you think he's going to, stand for what he said he was going to do? Like, if I see Dan, it's on. Or do you believe now that the fight's official and you guys see each other, do you anticipate he's going to be a lot more quieter now?
Nah, I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck. If he comes in arm's range of me, like, I'm gonna hit him. That's the long and short of it, and the fight's gonna be off. Like, I don't care about that. That's what I'm saying. If you put me near the guy, the fight's and I feel like he feels the exact same way. If you put me near the guy, I'm gonna try and hit him and throw shit at him and piss him off. Yeah, that's not really my concern. The UFC wants this fight to happen, so I feel like it's on them to keep us away from each other. There's shit, and there's guys that do it for show and stuff like that. But yeah, this is not necessarily the build up for a fight. Whether they pay me $1 million and hit him inside of a cage, or whether I bump into him in the car park and the whole shebang gets cancelled, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
I think Dan Hooker means every word that he's saying. That.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is actually a crazy person. I don't think he cares where the fight happens. He just wants to fight Arman Tsarukyan.
Yeah, and to be honest, I almost believe Arman as well. Like, we've seen Arman kind of get into it with the Bobby Green stuff in the past. Like, these guys probably should not be near each other, because I do believe like the teams are probably going to get rowdy. Also, shout out to my guy Dennis from Submission Radio. Go sub to Submission Radio on YouTube if you haven't already. He's a legend. But yeah, I'm excited about this fight. I think it's been building toward it. Like Dan in particular has really wanted this fight, and you have to respect that. On the heels of a win over Gamrot, he's like, yeah, I want Arman too. Like, he's kind of taking some of the tougher challenges, and I think it's going to help him, because this is the type of name you need to beat to propel yourself back into like a title conversation. So Dan Hooker's trying to do it right, and he's a gamer. I do wonder stylistically if this is going to be the ideal matchup. Like, Arman feels like somebody who's going to be able to exploit the holes in Dan's game, but at the same time, Dan is always dangerous, and the striking is certainly his advantage. And so we'll see how this plays out. But if you're Arman, I think just getting back in the cage is going to be a huge win here. Like, we have seen him doing the grappling. We've seen him on Instagram doing the eating of 6,000-foot croissants and whatever else he's been doing lately. I need to see this guy fight. Yeah, 100 In-N-Out burgers, 17,000 wings. I just need to see Arman Tsarukyan fight, because it has been way too long, and I'm happy that we're going to get to see that soon.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he was supposed to fight for a title in January, and now it'll be 10 months after that, we're finally going to get to see him at UFC Qatar. They've had a back and forth on Twitter. Dan Hooker quote tweeting some tweets about him. This one of Arman Tsarukyan just 4 days ago with an existing back injury trying to impress Nina Drama. You can't make this shit up. That's the video where he's like spinning around on his head with his back. And Dan
this
Hooker
was
says,
before the pullout, and everybody was saying that Nina was to blame. Yeah.
Dan Hooker says, "We are not the same." And then another one, Arman blames Nina for his back injury. And then Dan Hooker says, "I broke my hand preparing for a fight. You hurt your back creeping on Nina Drama." So like, There's a history there. Like, he's talked about how he's like a rich, posh boy and everything like that. Yeah. There is a history between these two. Dan Hooker always comes for a scrap. You talk about the stylistic matchup, but like, you would think Gamrot would lend to boring fight and probably a Dan Hooker loss. But man, they put on one of the best fights of the year, and it ended up in a Dan Hooker win. So you just never know what's going to happen. 5 rounds. Dan Hooker knows that he doesn't have unlimited time left in this career, man. Like, he's aging a little bit. The injuries, like, we're coming back from the hand injury now. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great scrap, dude. Yeah. I cannot wait for this one. I think it's going to be fantastic. And then you combine that with the co-main event of Belal versus Ian Machado Garry. A lot of people wanted to see Ian Garry versus Sean Brady, but we end up with him going against the former champion, which there's sort of a backstory there as well. And I think this could also end up being a great fight.
Yeah, to me, this feels like a better fight for Ian, if I'm being completely honest. Like, Brady, for one, is just a tough out, right? Like, stylistically, he's going to be extremely tough for anybody. But 2, He's not a former champion. He doesn't carry the name value. Belal has a win over Sean Brady. And so I think this is probably a shorter path to the title for Ian Machado Garry. So I like this from Ian's perspective. And from Belal's perspective, I like it as well, just because you need to get back on the horse, right, and show that you're still championship caliber. And I think this is a great opportunity for him to do that. So good matchmaking here. I definitely would have been interested in Brady versus Garry, but I understand why they went in this direction, and I like this fight quite a bit.
All right, so we've kind of been, I don't want to say complaining, but sort of noticing how 155 and 170 have had a massive shortage of bookings. Now we're starting to get that. Now you got the number 2 guy, you got the number 6 guy booked at 155, and now you got the number 1 guy and the number 6 guy booked at 170. Get those wheels turning a little bit.
Yeah, you just need one domino to fall, because now those guys are off the table for the other guys, and then it starts to work itself out. So I imagine now we'll see kind of a string of lightweight and welterweight fights made because they don't want to fall behind, right? If I'm another lightweight or I'm another welterweight and I see these matchups being made, I don't want to be waiting for them to get their title shot. I want to enter that conversation myself. So I think we'll see some movement now, finally, now that these dominoes fell.
We mentioned Ilia Topuria. His brother Alexandre Topuria was announced to also be fighting on this card against Bezkat Almakhan. So I believe that'll be his second fight in the UFC. They're building up this card well, man. Luke Riley from Cage Warriors taking on Bogdan Grad. Sergey Spivak, shout out to Action Bronson, the polar bear, his favorite fighter, taking on Shamil, the GOAT, Goatsiev, in a heavyweight clash. Alex Perez versus Asu Almabayev, and Jack Hermanson taking on Miktabek Oralbai. Man, Saturday before Thanksgiving, noon kick, couple main and co-mains with a lot of steaks. Sign me up. Crisp November afternoon.
Yeah.
It's looking like a nice fight card just a couple weeks after UFC 322 will be taking place here in New York City. These Middle Eastern cards that they're obviously paying hefty site fees for, the UFC tends to bring out the best for fight nights for them.
Yeah, and it's just the reality of the game right now and the economics of the situation, but you can't be mad at getting a fight card like this. Like it is going to be tremendous and nearly like pay-per-view worthy. Based on, like, these guys are title competitors, you know. Like I'm very excited about this card.
Shout out to Doha. Frankie, you a Qatar or a Qatar guy?
I am a Qatar guy.
Yeah,
but I could see that maybe it goes both ways.
I was looking at the pronunciation. It's tricky, man. For a simple 5-letter word, it's tough. It's like you say Qatar, but like you have to pronounce it kind of like Qatar. Like the emphasis is on the Qatar. Qatar? I watched about 6 pronunciation videos on it yesterday, and I couldn't get it.
So where did we land though?
You have to like use like an accent. It's like,
so you don't want to do it because you'd have to do an accent.
Qatar. You like don't hold out the R. Qatar. I can't remember. I watched like 8 videos on it, and it's tough. Yeah, you said it, Terrence. You took the words.
Can somebody from Qatar call into the voicemail line?
I was watching videos of people from Qatar, and it's like. They said that there's like no English equivalent for it, so like you have to use the accent for the language spoken there. And like Americans struggle with that. So for now, I'll just
it's like a Melbourne situation.
Yeah. I'll just stick with Qatar.
Got it.
Shout out. That's what I said. Shout out entire World Cup when it was there.
Doha, you said, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Doha. No venue yet on Tapology, but I think Dana said the name of it, like AHA. BA Arena or something like that.
All right.
Should be a good one, though, man. I'm looking forward to that one. So that's the news for November. I guess we're only like 6 weeks away from that happening. I don't know why I feel like late November feels like forever away, but that one is quickly approaching us. But we have got some big fights to look forward to this weekend. Friday, you got PFL action. Probably one of the best cards that PFL could possibly put on right now, save for a couple stars that aren't on there. You got UFC 320 taking place in Las Vegas, and you got BKFC going down across the river in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. I mean, this is all you can ask for as a fight fan.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it just like a busy one, but there are high-level stakes in these matchups, and there's like names and faces that you recognize. It is one of those like, I have to watch everything. It's not one of those where it's like, okay, this one goes on the back burner. This one's the one I'm going to watch. You kind of have to consume all this because these are the best of what these promotions have to offer.
It's truly going to be incredible, and I love the way that they're stacking the times. Obviously, Friday dedicated to PFL, BKFC wisely scheduling it to where the card will be over before the main card of UFC starts. Yep. It's genius, so you have no excuse to not watch everything, and it's one of those weekends, like you said, where you do want to watch everything. Let's start with UFC 320, though. Main event, Magomed Ankalaev taking on Alex Pereira, light heavyweight championship of the world, rematch from the fight that we saw back in March, which I feel like as time has gone away from it, I feel like people are remembering more of a dominant performance from Magomed Ankalaev than actually happened. I went back and watched the fight, and I also went back and watched our watch party. Both of us in real time scored it for Alex Pereira. Now, granted, we were saying, like, man, these scorecards could go either way. Like, this was very close. We gave 1, 3, and 5 to Pereira. And like that third round, all 3 judges gave it to Ankalaev, despite Pereira outstriking him, but it was a very close round. Like, it was a close fight, and on 2 of the judges' scorecards, it was 48-47. Sal D'Amato gave the 5th round to Ankalaev, so he had it 49-46. But like, this was a close fight, and now a fight that, you know, fighters will say a lot of things after fights don't go their way, but Alex Pereira saying that he was essentially only at 40%. And when you go back and watch it, like, I don't know if he was at 40% or not, but like, it didn't feel like the Pereira we had seen on that legendary run he went on in 2024. It felt like he was a little bit less aggressive. He was able to stuff the takedowns, which was huge for him, but it felt like he never really stepped on the gas and forced the issue at hand. And I think if he's able to do that, like, we could see him come out victorious here. I mean, the odds just keep spiking for Magomed Ankalaev. He's as big as like minus 280 or something like that, minus 270 on DraftKings. He's minus 285 right now. So it keeps climbing, and it doesn't feel like there's a ton of buzz around this, the potential of Alex Pereira, one of the biggest stars in our sports, getting the belt back. But I'm intrigued for this one, man. I'm fascinated for it. I'm really curious to see how Alex Pereira comes out, because it feels like there has been a shift in him. It feels like he's taking this one personally. It feels like he's fired up for this one.
Yeah, he's definitely a little more vocal, right, than we've seen him. Like, the last time we really saw something like this is probably Israel, right, where he had something to say about his opponent and was more interested in that than necessarily like just the Shama and maybe Jamal Hill. There was a little bit, but it was more on Jamal's side, if we're being completely honest, than Alex's. As far as the fight itself goes, my feeling at the time has not changed, which was that was the worst Alex Pereira performance I've seen. Like, that did not feel like the version of Alex Pereira that we're used to. He was just so lethargic, not aggressive. When the openings and holes were there, he wasn't capitalizing on them. He was just allowing himself to kind of be there for the taking with Magomed. I didn't remember what you said about me scoring it for Alex. That makes a lot of sense to me, though, because that was an extremely close fight. There was not a lot of action on either side. The takedowns didn't end up being a major factor. Magomed shot for quite a few of them, was unsuccessful. There wasn't a lot of damage being done by either man. And so I feel that this fight is Alex Pereira's to lose, if I'm being completely honest. I feel the same way I did feel going into it, which is that I do believe Alex is the better striker. I do believe when Alex is engaged and being aggressive and not just kind of like plodding and there for the taking, that he is going to be able to find Magomed's chin and be able to finish this fight. So the first fight really wasn't very instructive in terms of how I'm thinking about this rematch. I kind of almost look at it as a mulligan where I get to see that fight again. And if we see the version of Alex Pereira that had been in all the fights leading up to the Magomed fight, I think he wins. Now, there will be many out there that are saying, who will say in response to that I'm not giving enough credit to what Magomed did to shut Alex Pereira down. But quite frankly, I didn't see that. That was not what I saw from Magomed Ankalaev. I did not see this like masterful game plan where Alex Pereira was frustrated and could not engage. There were opportunities for Alex Pereira to pull the trigger in that fight, and he was not taking them. It was not a situation where he was completely stifled, right? It was not facing Merab Dvalishvili, where you have no room to breathe and you can't do anything because he's setting such a pace that your weapons are now useless. It was not that. That was not what we saw in that fight. We saw a lot of moments from inactivity from both sides, and in the middle rounds, not in the middle rounds, in the middle moments when there was nobody engaging, maybe Magomed took a few more of those, and that's what ultimately got him the nod. If Alex Pereira fights like Alex Pereira, I think he's better than Magomed Ankalaev. That's ultimately where I'm at, and I will have to be shown otherwise because I did not see that in the first fight.
What we were saying before the first fight was essentially if Magomed Ankalaev cannot get this to the ground, he is in massive trouble.
Yeah.
He didn't get to the ground. He went 0 for 12, and interestingly enough, he started shooting more takedowns as the fight went on. He across the first 3 rounds, he shot for 2 takedowns, and then across the last 2 rounds, he shot for like 10. Ended up going 0 for 12 in that fight. If he goes 0 for again on the takedowns, but ends up being 2-0 against Alex Pereira, I will be I'll be speechless. It'll be like, man, what a back-to-back performances by Magomed Ankalaev. Because I think, again, at some point in this fight, he is going to go to the wrestling again.
But you have to then acknowledge that if that scenario plays out, right? If Magomed is 0 for 12 on takedowns again, then Alex Pereira probably did not pull the trigger again, right?
Yeah.
If Alex Pereira pulls the trigger, the likelihood that Magomed is going to be able to just outstrike him while going 0 for 12 on takedowns feels very unlikely to me. It just does not feel like a real scenario. I know I just saw it.
I know, I was going to say, but we just saw it.
But
we
to
just
me,
saw it across
like,
25
will
minutes.
we see Alex Pereira? Quite frankly, I think he let Magomed off the hook in that fight. I believe that fight was there for him to be able to win, and he let Magomed off the hook. If we see that again, to me, that'd be more concerning about the future prospects in the career of Alex Pereira than it would be this like masterful performance by Magomed. Now, I'm saying that if we see that again, right, if he's 0 for 12 on takedowns and that's how that fight looks again, there's a version of this fight where Magomed is even better, right? There's a version of this fight where his striking is getting off a little more. Now they've both seen each other, and Magomed was able to stand with Alex for extended periods. Those 0 for 12 takedowns, he wasn't really like hanging on him pretty long. A majority of this fight did take place on the feet, and he was able to stand with Alex Pereira. Granted, as I said, I think this was a gun-shy Alex Pereira who did not pull the trigger, but he was able to stand with him. That's got to give you confidence. Maybe his hands open up a little bit more. And when he opens up his hands, he is quite good and quite powerful. He's a very good technical striker. The book on him leading into the first fight was all this stuff about like, he's a crotch sniffer, he's going to grab him and take him down. That's never been his game. He's primarily a striker who opportunistically takes takedowns.
I actually think it was the book was he's not a crotch sniffer. Everyone was like, everyone likes to think these Dagestanis are all crotch sniffers, but Magomed Ankalaev is not. And so we did like that. Everybody says that, but he's actually not. And so I think enough people were saying it that he actually is a striker. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It just feels like with Corey, with Yuri, I mean, with Merab Corey, with Yuri Khalil, with the Paul Hughes Usman fight going, it does feel like there isn't a ton of excitement for this. And it could just be my timeline. It could just be the people that I listen to. But it kind of feels like people are writing Alex Pereira off in this one, and it feels like the odds are reflecting that as well.
Yeah, that feels a bit strange to me. I don't know how you could watch that fight and look at it and be like, that was a dominant performance by Magomed, and Alex has no shot. Like there were just so many moments of inactivity where if Alex Pereira decided to pull the trigger, just put himself at risk a little bit, right? You have to put yourself at risk.
I think that's what he's going to have to do.
You're going to have to put yourself at risk for getting taken down by Magomed or getting clipped by one of his shots. But in doing that, you have the better weapon. Alex Pereira's hands are better than Magomed's hands. Alex Pereira's power is better than Magomed's power. If he puts himself at risk in certain scenarios a little bit, I ultimately think he'll be successful because nobody standing with Alex Pereira can really outduel him when it comes to plant your feet and let's trade power for power. He's going to win that exchange in nearly all the scenarios. So if he's a little busier, I lean Alex. I lean Alex again. I feel no differently than I did feel going into the first fight. If you tell me that Magomed is going to go over 12 on takedowns this time, I do think that Alex Pereira is going to win the fight. I think they'll both look better. That's how I ultimately see this. I think Magomed's going to look a lot better. I think he's going to be a much more comfortable with his hands. I wouldn't be surprised if he completes some takedowns, especially if Alex Pereira does take some chances like we're talking about.
And what happens from there, I don't know.
That's going to make the fight more exciting. But if Alex can find Magomed's chin, I think he wins the fight, and I think he will.
Ultimately, I think it's going to be a more exciting fight. I think one of the biggest reasons why it's going under the radar is the last fight wasn't that exciting.
It was a dud.
It was, some decent striking exchanges. You had the moment where he kind of throws him off at the end of the round. Some stalling and clenching in the fourth and the fifth. Like, I think that this is going to be a more exciting fight because I think you're going to have to force the issue if you're Alex Pereira. If you watch that tape back for 25 minutes after the run that you went on leading up to that one, you and your coaches, you can't sit there and be like, fought the best fight we could, man.
No.
He just got the better of us.
No, Plino was sitting right here with Alex, and he said it was his worst night. It was his worst possible night, and that reflected in the tape. I saw a horrible version of Alex Pereira. I know we will get better. I was a lot more confident in that first fight that Alex would be able to get it done than I am in this fight because that performance may have been the beginning of the decline, right? That performance may not have just been his worst night, but it could have been just the beginning of what we're seeing, which is Alex Pereira having had an incredibly long and violent kickboxing and MMA career, just coming to the end of that. And Magomed, I think he's fully in his prime, entering his prime, right? I don't think that there's any chance that Magomed is on the downside. And so Magomed just may be catching Alex at the right time and have a better opportunity to beat him. But if we see any semblance of that Alex Pereira, I do lean that way.
I mean, you talk about Magomed, man. He's that buzzer beater by Paul Craig away from being an undefeated fighter right now.
Yeah.
Like to see Alex Pereira. I know it's just like the most obvious thing ever, but it's like you really like to see Alex Pereira throw out a lot of leg kicks. Use the Jan Blachowicz tactic back in 2022.
Especially with how good Alex Pereira is at that individual.
That's what I'm saying.
You would have thought in the first fight, the guy who's an incredibly powerful leg kicker
spam him, bro.
Would spam the leg kicks against this guy. We just didn't see Alex use any of his tools. I'm confident we'll see more of that.
All right, so if Pereira loses, say it is akin to the first fight. There are similarities. It's not that great of a performance. It goes 5 rounds. Alex Pereira loses a decision. Magomed Ankalaev and still. Where does Alex Pereira go from there? Because then the run of 2024 will have essentially worn off by then. We'll have seen 2 fights in 2025, both kind of duds, both coming up short in losses. You know, the aura, the mystique around him will have been beginning to fade. Where do you go from there?
Win or lose, I would like to see Alex Pereira fight at heavyweight. Now, I'm certainly okay with him skipping the line and fighting Tom Aspinall, who I think will defeat Cyril Gane. I'm perfectly okay if that's the outcome that we get. But I'm also okay with him doing one fight against another top-ranked heavyweight and then getting into a title shot. But win or lose, I would like to see him at heavyweight. I know people are excited about the idea of Carlos Oberg getting a title opportunity. That can come against anybody. That does not need to come against Alex Pereira. I'm totally fine with Carlos Oberg getting a title opportunity. I just don't think there's anything left for Alex Pereira to accomplish at light heavyweight. A win over Carlos Oberg doesn't like bring your resume at light heavyweight to a different stratosphere. Before the time runs out, before Alex Pereira's career is too close to the end and he's not a viable fighter at heavyweight anymore, I want to see him put on that weight and fight at heavyweight. So win or lose, I want to see him fight at heavyweight.
Is Carlos Oberg, Alex Pereira the best looking matchup the UFC can make?
That's
Where
a
does
good
that
one.
rank pound for pound?
That's a
on
good one.
The best looking matchup that they can make. Alex Pereira, I know you love the custom shorts.
Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, show me.
He always rocks his custom shorts. He's now got a revamped edition of his custom shorts. There they are, the new custom shorts.
These are the new ones.
These are the new ones.
Not the old ones.
So the left side is like the old ones, and then the right side has been revamped for the new ones. Now, I believe this is like the paint that he's wore when he goes back to Brazil to like the villages.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alex Pereira gets revamped.
Wow, they did
shorts.
it again.
I like it. It starts the new run.
I can't believe it.
Run.
They've done it again. Wow.
Yeah,
They've done it again. Can we please just do something else?
I love it. I love it.
Custom shorts.
Those are custom. No one else is going to have them except for, who was it at Looking for a Fight?
Diego Brandao was wearing the Alex Pereira shirts.
Shout out. Rocking the Alex Pereira shorts with Pereira's name on them.
Yeah.
At not Looking for a Fight. Tough Enough when we were out in Vegas. Shout out to Diego Brandao. Co-main event. Murad Dvalishvili taking on Corey.
Wait, final prediction.
Oh, final prediction. Alex Pereira round 4 knockout.
Okay. So we're aligned. We think Alex. I mean, underdog price on Alex Pereira.
Don't mind if I do.
After a fight that we scored for him the first time, and that was his worst. Like, feels like to steal a line from Frankie, who's stealing a line from me. Feels like we gotta.
Feels like we gotta. All right. So like I feel like I was falling into the trap of like time has gone on. You're like, oh yeah, Nurmagomedov Ankalaev, like he really did win that fight. Like clearly he went well. Like what's gonna even go differently in the second one? And then, like, not only do you go back and watch it, and then by me being like, how did we score this? I went back and looked at the watch party. We both were like, I'll say we're not like, Alex Pereira won that 48-47. We're just like, these scorecards are going to be all over the fucking place. Like, some of these rounds were just, like, so close. You just don't know how to score them. And then you go back and, like, if you look at the tweets from the scorecards, a lot of people obviously scoring it for Magomed, but a lot of people are also like, man, this was a super close fight. You could have given round 3 to Pereira. You could have, D'Amato obviously could have given round 5 to Pereira. You just don't know how this ends up. The rhetoric around it was like, this was an incredibly close fight that like no one is calling robbery at all for Nurmagomedov Ankalaev winning, but like,
no,
it was a very, very close fight. And I could see this second one being close as well.
Yeah. And at that with that understanding, you have to lean toward the dog, at least from a betting perspective, in my opinion.
Radhavashvili
Yeah.
taking on Corey Sandhagen, a man who's had a dog price tag next to his name many a time, despite being on an infinite win streak in the UFC. The guy just keeps winning and keeps dominating. That is no more.
Yeah.
Murad Dvalishvili is currently sitting at minus 400 against title challenger Corey Sandhagen, coming back at plus 300. It's hard to pick against him, I'll say. Love Corey Sandhagen, love his style. He puts on exciting performances. He can strike, he can grapple. But man, the machine that is Merab is hard to go against right now.
Yeah, Corey is a fantastic mixed martial artist. I think he's been on the wrong side of a few very close fights that kind of were like heartbreakers, momentum breakers. I'm really happy that he was able to get to this title opportunity, and I'm really happy that he gets to do it against Merab, because I think Merab is the best bantamweight of all time. I think he's already kind of achieved that status, and I know Corey's mission is to be the best mixed martial artist of all time and be the best that mixed martial artist that he can be. So the fact that he's getting an opportunity against somebody who I think is the best bantamweight, I think is a challenge that's worthy of Corey's mission. Unfortunately and ultimately, I don't believe that Merab is slowing down at any point soon, and the style that he has, I don't see holes in it. There is not. Every time I talk about Merab, I talk about the same thing, which is, unlike everybody else in MMA, he's a unique one of one. Unlike everybody else, the cardio is one thing, right? The cardio is tremendous. The cardio is a weapon. The cardio is probably the best weapon that anybody has in combat sports. But because of that cardio, his game plan does not need to be effective. And that's the craziest thing. He does not need to land punches. He does not need to land takedowns. He just needs to be active, and he will win the fight. And it's unlike anybody that I can think of in history. It's unlike anybody I can think of now, where it does not matter if, like Magomed, he would be 0 for 12 on takedowns. It does not matter if his striking percentage is 20%. Because of the activity, because of how busy he's staying, because he's stifling you to the point that you can't get your offense off, he can win fights without being effective. He just has to spam. It's the most bizarre thing, because the game of mixed martial arts is much more on efficiency, being good at what you do, figuring those things out. He just has to be active, and he's the best in the world at that. So it's a very hard style, one that I don't think can be solved by anybody currently at bantamweight, nobody that I see at least. And so while I have a lot of respect for Corey Sandhagen as a well-rounded mixed martial artist, I don't think he has any holes anywhere. He is very good on the ground. He is very good in the stand-up. He's very good in the exchanges. He's dangerous when there's a window of opportunity, like we saw with the flying knee on Frankie Edgar. When it comes to mixed martial arts, Corey is as rock solid as they come and as well-rounded as they come. But unfortunately, I just don't see anybody beating Merab until I see it with my own eyes, or somebody else comes up that we are not thinking of. I do not see anybody who can beat Merab, including Corey.
And when it comes to Corey as well, like, he beats the top guys.
Yeah.
Like, he beats the Figgies, he beats the Fonts, the Cheetos, Song Yadong, like, he beats those guys. But then when he takes on the Aljas of the world, the Piotr Jans of the world, the Umar Nurmagomedovs, that final step up to the elite tier of the division, it always feels like he comes short. And now he's taking on a guy in Radhavashvili, 13-fight win streak, who's taken out everyone at this division. And when you go back and watch the Umar fight for Corey, Umar was able to have some success with the takedowns. He was able to have some success in the striking. It just kind of feels like what Umar was able to do, Merab is also going to be able to do, and potentially be able to do it better.
Yeah, and it's a good comparison in terms of what the style is going to be like. You mentioned some of these fights. Outside of the Aljo one, nobody really blew his doors off, though, right?
Right.
Jan versus Sandhagen is we talked about this literally last week.
Unbelievable.
One of my favorite fights, super close, heartbreaking for Corey, against a guy in Jan who we know is as good as they come, and pretty much the only guy who can kind of can say he can beat any of the top guys except for Merab. He's able to just compete with every single person. Unfortunately, it feels like Merab kind of is a style that is hard for him and, quite frankly, hard for everybody else. But outside of that, and that's coming back in 2020, outside of that, these losses are close losses. It's not like anybody's just blowing Corey out of the water. He just needs a little bit more to be able to get over that hump. The problem is, those guys, to me, are not on the level of Merab, right? Even if you can beat an Umar, even if you can beat a Piotr Jan, those guys are here. The guys Corey's been beating are right below that here. Merab is up here. Merab is on a different level than everybody else. So even if you can get by those guys, ultimately, I don't think it's enough. I can't rave more. I can't be more impressed by Merab Dvalishvili. And we talked about it when we had Ally Aquinta in the studio. He's the type of guy who you're not going to catch having a bad performance. One, because as I've said a million times, a bad performance for Merab doesn't exist. All he has to do is keep in your face because that's all he needs to do to win. And two, the guy is relentless. He is in the gym. Like, I know we get the skits. I know he's hanging around with Nina Drama doing like, funny, goofy shit. But when it comes to getting in the training room, the guy is there. Shin split open. He's there. Staples in the head. He's there. It doesn't really matter. When it comes to the fight game, this man is relentlessly motivated to be the champion and represent his country of Georgia. And so I just don't see any fall off. And I don't see how you beat Merab outside of a fluke, outside of a flash KO, right? And by the way, like I don't want to disregard the possibility of that. Corey Sandhagen, as I said, is somebody who is capable of that. Corey Sandhagen is capable of that split-second moment of brilliance, like a read where it's just like, I think I can get him here. Let me throw a flying knee. Let me throw a spinning back elbow. Let me throw something that I think is fight-ending. Corey Sandhagen is capable of that. I just think Merab is so hard to catch in those moments.
Yeah, and I know it's been ages at this point, 2021, 4 years ago, but like Marlon Moraes was able to catch Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah. So it's possible. Like if you are able to clip him with those things, and man, you talked about like he's just always ready to go. Like I was reading an article this week where he talked about how he doesn't even really stretch. He just pops in, just gets going. He's immediately into training, no stretching, no warm up. Doesn't care about the heart rate monitor. It was when he was with DJ, when he was grappling with DJ. DJ's wearing a mouthpiece with a heart rate monitor in it, and he's like, yeah, no, I don't do all that. I don't do the tech. I don't do calorie tracking. I don't do any of that. I cut weight old school way where I'm just like, yep, I'm just not going to eat for the next 2 or 3 days, not going to drink any water, cut it all off, and I'll be good to go. Like,
he's a throwback in that way.
He's just like a throwback dude who just like gets it done. And it's just like, has there ever been a day in the guy's life where he's just like, I don't feel like training today.
I'm imagine.
Not up to it.
No, there's probably never been a day.
Like DC, the video of DC where like after he won the belt, he's like walking through and he's like, yo, is that Merab? And like he's like on a jog and he's like, Merab, bro,
yeah,
you won the belt 2 days ago. And he's like, yeah, got to get back in the gym, man. just like he's always ready to go. Like, and he's just focused on the next fight. It truly is unbelievable what we're seeing. And like he is now finding himself in very, very rarefied air. Obviously, longest win streak in bantamweight history, 12 for bantamweight, 13 overall. Title fight wins, he's at 3. This would get him to 4, one short of TJ Dillashaw. Like he's Aljo, most bantamweight wins, 14. He's at 13. He's at 12. This to go to 13. Like he's starting to put himself in that rarefied air where you start to be like, is this guy one of the best 135ers of all time?
I think he's the best 135er of all time. To me, it starts to become a conversation about like, is he one of the best fighters of all time? Like, bantamweight is a division that has had some fantastic fighters, some fantastic champions. I think he's the best among them. I think he's both the best and I think he's the greatest. I think he's going to end up the most decorated if you don't already kind of consider what he's accomplished that. You look at the names on his resume and it's hard to argue with. I think he's entering a territory where you start going like, is this one of the best fighters we've ever seen? Now, granted, there's a long way before you can become a John Jones, a GSP, an Anderson Silva. But the makings of it are all right here in terms of the way he prepares himself, what you said about like him living and breathing fighting and always being prepared for it. There's not going to be Merab is not going to defeat himself. That's the one thing we know about a guy like that. There is not going to be an opportunity. Like I talked about Alex letting Magomed Ankalaev off the hook. There will not be a fight where Merab lets somebody off the hook. That just won't happen. You will have to beat Merab, and I don't see a style that's going to be able to do that yet.
You also talk about like him living and breathing the fight game. It's like, man, he becomes champion. He's starting to get big on social media. The checks are getting bigger. You know, life's starting to get a little bit more comfortable. So what does he do? Opens up his house to a bunch of Georgians to come in and train and work with him. So like he's just feeding off them as well. Like it's unbelievable what this guy's been able to do. And if Corey Sandhagen is the one to put an end to it, what an accomplishment, what a feat that would be for him to finally get the belt wrapped around his waist and knocking off this guy. I just don't know, man. I think it's going to be a fight that goes to a decision, and I think it'll be one where it's like, man, Corey had some good moments. There were some close rounds, but like ultimately I scored 49-46 Merab.
Which is kind of the story of Corey's life, right? Like it's always like the big opportunities here and he comes up just a little bit short. What are we missing? What am I missing? Like, what am I blinded by when it comes to Merab? What am I not thinking
That every
of?
fight you watch, you're just like, how does this guy do this?
Yeah.
How does he 50-45, 50-44 Piotr Jan? Like, how does he just like completely shut these dudes down? How does he pick up Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo, carry him across the octagon like he's a child and slam him down on route to a 30-27 victory? Like, how does he beat Sean O'Malley and then top it the next time he does it by finishing him? The dude never finishes anyone. Then he comes back and he's like, yep, I'll just finish him here. How does he go down 2 rounds to Umar Nurmagomedov undefeated, the lineage that this dude has behind him, and he's just like, I'll just rally off the last 3 and get a dub. Like, it's crazy.
He's ridiculous. Here's the one part that I was going to say, like, I want to give bail to Corey. It's not giving bail. Here's where I want to give credit to Corey. Unlike past opponents, you look at Henry Cejudo, right? The path to victory for Henry Cejudo is typically going to be like some combination of wrestle boxing, right? He has a style. That's how he wins fights. You look at Umar Nurmagomedov. It's that crushing wrestling. That's the style. Sean O'Malley, keeping range, KO power. If not KOs, it's the high volume striking. The difference between Corey and all those other guys is there's a few differences. One, I just think strategy-wise, he's smarter. I think he's smarter than these other guys. When it comes to coming up with a game plan, when it comes to exploiting your opponent's weaknesses, I think Corey Sandhagen is better at that. And 2, unlike those other guys, I think he can fight different styles and be effective fighting different styles. So if he comes in with a game plan that he has custom made, he and his team have custom made in order to beat Merab Dvalishvili, it would not shock me. And that would be the advantage that I would see. Maybe there is something that he has been able to identify. Maybe there is something that he has been able to see as a very intelligent mixed martial artist that the rest of us have not, that is a flaw, that is a chink in the armor for Merab Dvalishvili that he has identified. I think he can exploit that, whereas other fighters like a Sean O'Malley, right? Sean O'Malley needs to knock Merab out. Otherwise, he's going to get cooked. That's what we see. Piotr Jan has to figure out a way to be busier than Merab, right? The striking's great, and you can counterpunch all you want, but Merab's going to be busier, and he's ultimately going to drown you.
You can stuff takedowns, but when he shoots 50 of them, like, what are you going to do about it?
And so these guys have their style, but their style isn't better than Merab's style. The thing that I admire about Corey, and we've seen it in various wins, right? When he needs to do a takedown heavy game plan like he did against Chito Vera, he can do that as good as anybody in the world.
Like he really did against Rob Fong, where he got the injury early on, and then he ended up getting like 7 or 8 takedowns in like 20 minutes of control time to get the dub.
Or if he wants to stand and trade with Piotr Jan, he could do that too. And so that's the advantage that I think Corey has over a lot of these other fighters, is his style can adapt and he knows ways to exploit. It's very much like Georges St. Pierre back in the day. If Georges St. Pierre thought that his best path to victory against you was to strike, he was going to be a striker that day. If he thought wrestling was his best path, he was going to be a wrestler that day. And I think Corey's capable of that. The problem is, I don't know what that hole is. I've not identified that. If Corey has, God bless him, and it would be incredible to see. I don't know what that hole is for Merab.
It truly will be incredible. Also, you mentioned that Cheeto fight, split decision in that one, all-time bad scorecard. I had 50-45 Corey, and someone, I can't remember who it was, someone scored a 48-47 Cheeto. Absolutely insane. Can't wait for those top 2 fights, 2 title fights on the line. Like, this is what you ask for as a fight fan.
Yeah,
like,
you have to appreciate the level of martial arts in this fight. All 4 of those fighters are such high-level guys.
If you had a hard time getting out of bed for Perth, I can understand. If you have a hard time getting out of bed for this one, you're just not a fight fan.
Yeah.
You're just not into it. Let's go to the featured bout of the evening. One that I think is the most likely to be exciting. The most likely one that you're going to be like, this was the fight of the night, and that's Yuri Prochazka, the man standing over your shoulder. Albeit with the belt in that one. But yes, Yuri Prochazka taking on Khalil Roundtree. Both guys, ironically, coming off of wins over Jamal Hill. Yuri at UFC 311 back in January, and Khalil at UFC Baku in June. 3-round fight. If it goes to a decision, then I would feel like that would favor Roundtree. I mean, he was up on the scorecards after 3 rounds against Alex Pereira, but I don't think Yuri Prochazka is coming in with the game plan that he wants to fight to a decision. You are coming, Yuri. 31 wins, I believe 30 coming by way of finish for Yuri Prochazka. So I don't think he's just like, we're going to point fight this one. We're going to point fight this one. I know we've seen the tape of him doing the boxing drills with the head movement, but I think the game plan is going to be simple. I think it's going to be the one we always see with Yuri Prochazka. He is going to put the foot on the gas. He is going to come forward. He's going to be willing to eat some shots, but you're going to have to take some shots as well.
What do you think the impact is of college, Yuri? What do you think the impact he
said he was doing it to become a smarter fighter. He actually said at media day, he was like, I don't really give a shit about my master's degree. I just wanted to become smarter. I wanted to become more cerebral. I wanted to become a better fighter. We need to use our brains with how much shots to the head we take, which Lord knows Yuri's taking a lick or two. But I don't know if it's going to have any effect on it. But I mean, I think it's same as usual for Yuri.
What a beautifully bizarre man Yuri Prochazka is.
He's the best.
Like he's just
best.
singular.
And then he gets in there and like win, lose, or draw, man, it's always exciting. Like he's
always exciting.
Always in sick fights. The Dominic Reyes fight, the Glover Teixeira fight, both the Alex Pereira fights, unfortunately came out on the wrong end of those. The Jamal Hill fight. Everyone talks about Alex Pereira entering the Matrix against Khalil.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When Yuri entered the Matrix against Hill and he started the shoo,
yeah,
like that slow-mo where he ducks out of the way and then just has the right hand just waiting for him. Like
head movement Yuri was a sight to behold.
It's always great. Then he hits the sword beforehand. He's down for the stare down. Like he's just.
I know
best.
you're a huge fan.
If you're not a Yuri fan, it's like what is it? Like the guy puts on exciting fights. He's wildly wholesome. Like he has a personality like no other. The whole samurai shtick. It's great, man. It's great.
He another thing you pointed out, like chasing the knockouts and coming up short against Alex. Another thing that's very unique about him is how humble he is in victory and defeat, right? He recognizes what this game is. Like he's very sharp and I he talked about training his mind, but when it comes to like his understanding of what this is in terms of combat, he's very astute when it comes to that. He knows that there's the difference between winning and losing is that razor, right? Is that like thin line. And he fights like it. He fights like somebody who knows that if he gives somebody an opportunity, it could go the other way just like that. And so I agree with you. I think he's not going to give Khalil an opportunity to do that. But I do believe, I'm a big believer in Khalil Roundtree. I think we have seen a real evolution in him. I think he's a better technical fighter than Yuri. Like, that's not hard, right? Yuri's style is not exactly like perfect technique. His style is just being a blitzer who has insane power and just insane athleticism. But I think the more technical Khalil is going to serve him extremely well over the course of a 3-round fight if Yuri can't really like put that early pressure on him. If Khalil shells up and is just like super disciplined, sticking to the leg kicks, chopping out Yuri's legs, by the middle of round 2, I could really see Khalil being able to kind of like hit the gas and make a turning point there. It's going to require a ton of discipline, though, and you really have to outlast Yuri for those early moments.
And I just wonder how much he's going to be able to do that, because it's sort of like you kind of have to fight by Yuri's brand of fighting, which is where it gets hectic and where it gets chaotic. And it's not to say that Roundtree can't survive in that. Like we saw against Alex Pereira, I know he got finished there, but like he can scrap, man. He can go to war with people, and it could be one of those fights where it's like who gets touched first, who catches whose chin first. Like with the power that these guys hold and with how erratic Yuri fights, it could be one of those fights where it's just like, yeah, he tried to stay disciplined, but Yuri brought the war to him. But like he still clipped him, and he got him out of there, and he was able to come out victorious. It's a fascinating fight to me. I think it's going to be incredibly exciting. Both dudes, I enjoy watching fights. Both dudes have exciting style. I think it's just going to be. It's like garnered to be the people's main event. It's like this is the one I'm not missing.
Yeah, even if we do see that version of Khalil, who's defensively sound and like in that shell. In the moments where he comes out of it, when he lands his own offense, it's just explosive. It's extremely explosive. It's extremely violent. It's fight finishing stuff. The way he puts his power into his shots is very dangerous. And so I lean toward Khalil. I think he's going to be able to keep himself safe in the early going And some of the accumulation of the stuff that he was kind of doing against Alex, I think is going to be able to get to Yuri to the point where he doesn't become as dangerous in the later rounds. But he is going to have to survive hell to do that.
I love it. Doubt us. Us. You see the shirt? We got it. Doubt to Full Violence. Amazing shirt. Meditate and destroy, baby. Doubt us. That's okay. You're on Khalil. Demetrius Johnson's on Khalil. Helwani's on Khalil. I feel like someone else picked him yesterday. A lot of people that I know that are very, very good winning gamblers are on Khalil. That's all right, man. Doubt us.
You
That's
versus
okay.
the world. You and Yuri.
Me and Yuri versus the world. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be so
a great
great.
fight.
These top 3 fights. If you're gonna tune into anything this weekend, it's probably around like 11:30 on Saturday night for these top 3 fights. They're gonna be fantastic. I did want to take a second. Speaking of these top 3 fights, to shout out the Artist Series this week, the UFC.
Yeah.
Warwick Wong. He posted a video of him going through the art. His kid coming up and asking him, "Can you draw UFC?" This guy, an incredibly accomplished artist, like 500,000 followers on IG, has been doing this art for a while. On his post, he said, UFC 320. After all the UFC fan art over the years, I was given the honor of drawing an official UFC Artist Series for one of the biggest cards of the year. Thank you to the UFC. Thank you to Juliet Rand Creative for this incredible opportunity. It is a dream come true. My sons and I love combat sports and 80s/90s Kung Fu films, so it was awesome to also share the drawing process with them. Thank you all for the tremendous support for this artwork over on UFC's page. I felt so much pressure to make this right because as a fellow fan, I wanted to do right by the fight community. Holy shit, I could not be more down with this.
Yeah, I just love. As soon as I saw this, I wanted to highlight it just because I love his passion for it. Also, like, how fucking sick is this poster?
I love how he says the main idea was to stack the fighters in their own tiers. Yuri, Khalil, warriors, Merab, Corey are kings, and Alex and Magomed are sort of like the god tier dude, sort of like an old school fighting game style thing. These are individual prints of it. There's Corey and Merab, and then you got Yuri and Khalil, which is just like so sick. Look,
God,
with the custom shorts and everything. I think we have the full poster. Like the way that he talks about the poster, like he's just like, I didn't want to let the fight community down. Me and my whole family were such big fans of the sport that we wanted to like pay homage to such a great card. And then the UFC official poster.
No, it's great that this
like,
is the official poster, right?
This is the official poster. We are not acknowledging whatever. This is it. This is the UFC 320 poster. Like, imagine if this was hanging in banners outside of T-Mobile Arena and anywhere you went, it was just like, oh, UFC 320 this weekend. Look at this badass fucking artwork. Like, why is this not the official poster, man? Pay the fee. $7.7 billion from Paramount. Pay this dude 10 grand or whatever you have to do to be able to use his poster as the official artwork, man. It is unbelievable. Like, no disrespect to the graphic designer that, you know.
No disrespect.
Disrespect to the graphic designer that grabbed a couple PNGs of the fighters. Face, name, some weird color scheme, and then the UFC logo on it. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. They become so formulaic with it. This Artist Series poster is like, it's incredible. I just don't know how they don't make it the official poster.
It is weird to me that they continue to do this thing where they're like, all right, here's the official poster, and then here's this like way better poster that we're not going to use as the official. It's almost like if you're just going to keep doing that, like don't even do this other one. Don't do the good one so that people know what is actually capable.
Also, sell this one, bro. If this is a sick,
do they not? I think they do, right?
I think they do. I couldn't find it on the UFC store right now. But like, if this ends up being a sick card, I would buy this poster in a heartbeat to have it as a keepsake.
It's an incredible poster. We're definitely Warwick Wong fans.
Shout out to Warwick Wong. Followed on all social medias. Go follow him now. He truly is. He's a tremendous artist, and the creativity and the passion he put into this one was well worth it. It was fantastic. And honestly, most of the Artist Series are pretty tremendous.
Great. Yeah.
And even when like they're not great, they still shit on the UFC poster. Face, name, color scheme. Like people
block text in the middle, going vertical.
Bruh, International Fight Week, it was like they put the 4 guys in the main and co-main, and it was just like they put the flags behind them, and people were like, I can't lie, this is actually a pretty great poster. It's just like, it's all right, dude. It's all right. One last picture I wanted to highlight. I should have highlighted it during the co-main. Is minus 400 enough for Merab? There's a picture of him that's gone around.
I haven't seen this, I don't think.
You haven't?
No.
Well, I put it in the BITB production chat. If we can grab that real quick. it's Merab and Corey, and they're sitting together. They're chilling on a couch, and I think the kids call it mogging. Is the proper phrase for it?
I have to see the picture because I'm not aware.
You can be the judge of whether or not Merab is mogging Corey here, but it's
no.
Yeah, it's as they're working on it. Also, like when you get down to the fits, like Merab is nicely dressed. Corey kind of in like a
I just want to. Here we go. AI overview from Google.
There it is. Right
Mogging
there.
is internet slang for outshining or appearing superior to someone, particularly in physical appearance, style, or status. All right, let me look at this picture. Oh boy. Oh boy.
He's got the legs jammed in there.
The legs crossed and jammed in there.
Got his arm around him, full confidence.
What is this from?
I think it's from like backstage at a pay-per-view or something like that.
Oh boy, he might be mogging him.
I think you're right. I don't know if -400 is enough after seeing a picture like that. It's tough.
Shout out to Corey.
All right, those are the top 3 fights for UFC 320 this weekend. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to break down the rest of that card. PFL, BKFC. We got to check Fight Feast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. .6'1" versus 5'5".
This feels like a lying 5'5" though.
I am 6'1" when I stand next to someone, no offense to them, that is 5'5". I am towering over this person.
Yes.
I am much taller.
We literally saw it. Jake is towering over Tank. If Jake Paul stands there like a cartoon and puts his hand on Tank's head and Tank is windmilling at him, how is he going to hit him?
Alabama's just different now. I don't know if they needed to taste their own blood. I don't know if they needed to have their competitive character called into question. Whatever it was, it worked. The classic "Here we go again," which is eternal now. It's just evergreen for Georgia fans when they play Alabama. You don't believe in ghosts. You don't believe in goblins. You don't believe in any of that stuff, but you believe in Alabama if you're a Georgia fan. It's got to be a nightmare because it doesn't even matter how good you've looked. Here we go again.
Is Jordan Love okay, man? Like that last play was one of the most baffling things that I've ever seen in terms of like game management, where he just threw it to the back of the end zone as time was about to expire and luckily landed out of bounds with 1 second left. Getting the touchdown, it would have been sweet if he scored, but wow, that was so risky and so unnecessarily risky too.
The way it ended has to also mean something. You still have to hold these guys accountable. At a certain point, if we actually believe that Penn State is going to turn the corner and be a real national title contender, like you want to see them win that football game, and they just did not do it again. If the game would have ended the way the third quarter ended, like we would be like, what the hell was that? But that's the fun thing about football. There are 4 quarters, and oftentimes the fourth one's the most important.
All right, welcome back. Let's go through the rest of UFC 320 on the main card. Josh Emmett taking on Youssef Zalal. And like you just can't say enough about the turnaround for Youssef Zalal. 3-3-1 in the UFC in his first stint. Ends it on a 0-3-1 run, ends up getting cut. Goes, I believe it was 4-0, 5-0 between boxing, MMA, and kickboxing. Before returning to the promotion, and now he is 4-0, finds himself as a top 10 bantamweight, getting a fight against Josh Emmett to try and push him in to this title contention. But man, he's looked unbelievable since he came back.
Yeah, I said it heading into the Calvin Kattar fight. Like, I believe in this version of Youssef Zalal. Josh Emmett is a dangerous opponent. He's kind of been a litmus test for like, can you be a top guy in this division? I think Youssef Zalal can be a top guy in this division.
Yeah, at this point, like Josh Emmett, I mean, the Yair fight back in 2023, I believe, for the interim title shot. Like since then, there's been some struggles. He's been fighting the best in the world, albeit, but 40 years old at this point. Youssef's still only 29. Like, you got the 11-year age gap. Youssef going to be tall. He's going to be rangier. I just feel like this one is Youssef's to lose where he's at in his career.
It does feel that way to me, and I'm with that. It's just hard with Josh Emmett to know the level, right?
If Josh Emmett unloads a hammer mega right hand out of nowhere, I'm going to be like, well, Josh Emmett cracked him.
Well, there's that, but there's also the loss. Like you talked about the skid. It is a rough patch, but it's Yair Rodriguez, Ilia Topuria, Lerone Murphy, like the best fighters in the world. Like it is
for a title. won the title and then won another title at another weight class, and
Probably going to fight for
probably going to fight for a title.
With a win sandwich in between there, where he separated Bryce Mitchell from this earth for a little bit. Like, it's hard to know where Josh Emmett is truly at because the level of competition has been so high. But as you said, like, the other things are kind of piling up too, right? There's miles on the tires. He's also 40 years of age. Yusuf Zalal is a guy who's like young, hungry right now, entering his prime, and a guy who has looked flawless like since coming back to the UFC. So I lean toward Yusuf, but I am a little bit hesitant just because like it's hard for me to take too much away from Josh Emmett dropping those fights against the best guys in the division.
42, and he looks insane.
Yeah.
He is cut from stone at this point. I'm 32, and I view myself to be in decent shape, and I'm like, man, knee kind of hurting, hammy kind of tight today. Josh Emmett doing it for the old guys, man. He looks fantastic. First fight on the main card is Joe Pyfer versus Abus Magomedov, coined the GC Bowl by one Ariel Helwani. My two favorite fighters on the card.
Where do you think that came from, by the way? We've never really like broken this down. How did that happen where Ariel thought that you were like a huge Abus guy?
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever mentioned
so
Abus
random.
Magomedov.
I think he just screwed up and then just ran with it.
Well, we're never going to drop the bit. I guess I'm just a supporter of German MMA. Next up, we're going out to an Octagon show.
Max Holzer.
Yeah, we're going to go watch a Max Holzer fight. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Abus Magomedov. Shout out to Joe Pyfer. Do you think he goes with the body cam off nicknames?
Oh, God, I forgot about that. Why did you have to remind me about that? I forgot about that for a second. Yeah, I mean, to me, this fight is custom made for Pyfer to go over, right? Like, it feels like a guy who in Abus is going to be game and bring that action to him. But Pyfer is just more powerful than nearly everybody he's going to face. And so if you're going to stand there and your game plan is to come head first at Joe Pyfer, that's a really dangerous proposition, and I think he's going to win. So stylistically, this just feels like it's tailor-made for Pyfer to knock him out.
Yeah, Magomedov he's looked good since the two fights get against
He
Strickland
beat the
and Bahalio.
gas out allegations. He beat the this guy can't fight past a round.
I'm done saying that he's like a gas bag.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, and I also think Joe Pyfer is also more aware of how to spend his gas tank, especially after the Hermanson fight. But yeah, I'm with you. I think that Abus is a guy that still likes to push that pace and come after it, and I think going against Joe Pyfer, that doesn't always work out for you. No. What is it? Is the Ford Focus? That was Ngannou.
The Ngannou was,
He supposedly hits harder than Ngannou.
He hit the cube harder than Ngannou did?
Yeah.
Christ almighty.
He like passed some sort of litmus test over Ngannou. He definitely hits hard. I'm not looking to take a shot from Joe Pyfer.
No.
That is for sure. But yeah, I think he likely clips him in this one. And honestly, if he doesn't, Abus has finishing capability. I feel like this is another fight that could end up being high energy and very exciting.
Yeah, I just don't think... Ultimately, stylistically, I don't think that's the way you beat Joe Pyfer, right? It's the Jack Hermanson style. It's you wear on him, you grind with him, you wrestle with him, you put him in uncomfortable positions. If your game plan is going to be like, I'm going to trade, I'm going to be the aggressor, ultimately, I don't think that goes well. And so I think Joe Pyfer is going to be able to get it done.
Atabe going on to the prelims, the featured prelim. Atabe Gatier taking on Tristan Vines, who's getting a very, very short notice replacement the week of 0-1 in LFA, 3 losses, all 3 coming by way of first round knockout.
Oh boy.
Going against the guy in Gatier who has 7 KOs, and last time out against Robert Valentine, basically just like beat him up like a bully in the schoolyard until he finished him 70 seconds into the fight. If Tristan Vines can pull this off, I will be wildly impressed, but this feels like...
You have a line yet?
I still have not seen a line. Maybe the books just don't even want to give us one. It feels like a lamb to slaughter type deal to keep Gatier on the card.
Territory type shit.
Might be value.
Yeah, I mean, Gatier is a guy who, like, I think opened a lot of people's eyes in the last performance, and has been on that kind of like ascent. So yeah, this feels like they're doing this to keep him on the card very clearly. Like, they're doing this so that he remains on the card. I don't give his opponent much of a chance here.
Was originally supposed to fight Ozzy Diaz.
Yeah.
Vines.
But even in that one, he was a massive favorite,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, oh yeah, like a minus 750 or something. Vines is up against a tall test. Esmond Shabazian taking on Andre Muniz. Andre Muniz, man, there was a time where I was like, this guy's the real deal.
I think we all believed it.
The jiu-jitsu on this man is unbelievable. Unfortunately, has lost 3 of his last 4. Shabazian, at one point, the golden boy, man, looked unbeatable. He has won 3 of his last 4. I like the striking advantage that Shabazian is going to have. If it does end up on the mat, he could get in trouble, but with the striking acumen, man, I think he's going to be all right. I think he gets this done.
This feels like almost like the best style matchup for Edmund that he's had in a while. Like, it feels like this fight is made for him to be able to cruise. If he's winning early on the feet, it'll probably just go that way and he's able to finish. If he's not winning early on the feet and he gets into some dicey territory, I don't think Muniz is the type of like dominant control guy that he's going to be able to really make Edmund pay for it.
So I think great takedowns.
That's the thing. He doesn't have the great takedowns. That it's when he gets into an opportunity where there's a submission available, he's very good there. That is why we all kind of believed in him at first. But he's a very like traditional jiu-jitsu type guy in a sport in MMA that's not forgiving to that. He's a good physical athlete, but he doesn't have the huge takedowns. He doesn't have that ability to kind of put you into the position where he needs you. If you find yourself there, though, he does have the ability to close the show. I do think Edmund's going to be able to stay out of trouble.
I think it was this time last year Edmund got choked out by GM3. Like, if that ends up happening, I won't be shocked. I'll be like, oh, he just wasn't able to get him out of there, got taken down. But like, just the gap in striking, I think Edmund's going to be fine.
I also don't think Muniz has the instincts of GM3. Like, GM3's ability to survive and kind of like hunt that is way different than Muniz's. Muniz's is more like, if he's dominating and he sees something that he can snatch up and he's there, he can find it. But I just don't think he has that in a way that's going to trouble Edmund.
Ferocious Farid Basharat, undefeated 13-0, taking on Chris Gutierrez. This feels like a fight of similar styles. I think Farid can push to the takedowns more, but in the striking, I also feel like Farid has it sort of covered. Just sort of like, it's one of those fights, and a lot of times I'm wrong with this, but it's sort of like what Chris Gutierrez has. I feel like Farid is just younger, a little bit faster, a little bit better in those departments as of now, and he also can mix in the takedowns. I feel like this is a favorable matchup for him to stay undefeated.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but I do feel like there's that dog factor with Chris. Like,
oh yeah, bro.
When he needs to summon that, when he needs to be able to like stay in a fight, and we've seen it in his top level opportunities, I do think if Farid is not finding the success that he would be expecting, and all of a sudden his best shots are landing, but Chris is still there, I do think there might be an opportunity for Chris to kind of like turn the tables and step on the gas and maybe take that momentum. But ultimately, I feel the same way you do, which is like, I just feel like Farid's a little bit sharper in all those areas and should be able to get it done. But come middle rounds, if he's hitting Chris with his best shots and Chris doesn't seem to be reacting the way that Farid needs him to, I could see a mental thing where Chris is able to kind of like turn those tables because he's so experienced, he's so good, he's so tough.
I was gonna say, I mean, he is 10-3 in the UFC.
Yeah,
like he's albeit he lost, but he's fought like the Pedro Munoz, he's fought the Song Yadongs of the world. So like the experience could become a factor. But I'm gonna say that Ferocious stays undefeated. Juseng Yu, who came on the show earlier this week on Helwani, Zombie Jr. He goes from being like a minus 750 in his debut to now being an underdog against Daniel Santos. He's got the look. He's got the finishing capability.
Are we talking about Willie Cat or are we talking about Zombie Jr.?
I'm talking Zombie Jr. Two good nicknames here, Willie Cat versus Zombie Jr. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to end up being a fun fight. You get to shoot the box going against the guy who has knockout power. It usually lends to a fun fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be tested here. Like, I'm a little bit surprised that he's an underdog to Santos, but at the same time, when you look at like what Santos has done in the UFC,
he's more of a known product. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Zombie Jr. was kind of like, I mean, the odds were like minus 800. Like, it's sort of like you're tailor-made to win, and he was able to capitalize on that and do what he needed to do. But like, he is an unknown commodity to this point.
Yeah, and Willie Cat is the prototypical shoot-a-box fighter. Like, he is the guy who's just plodding forward and trying to kill you. And in moments that you're trying to kill him, he's surviving, and then he gets back up, and it's time for him to take his shot. It's going to be hell if Zombie Jr. is able to get it done. Would I be like? Sometimes it's just you're not ready for this type of fight that early into your UFC career, and I understand why he's the favorite, as you said, based on the experience and the fact that Zombie Jr. is just kind of like cracking into this. But he'll win on toughness if he wins, Daniel Santos.
Interesting little run here from Daniel Santos fighting Jusang Yu this weekend.
Yeah.
Korean. Was supposed to fight Doo-Ho Choi just last week on Perth. That one got canceled, also Korean.
Yep.
And his last fight was against Jung Young Lee, also Korean. They're booking up Willie Cat against the Koreans, man. The Korean killer. One win, one cancellation, and one yet to be seen. Macy Chazon will be fighting Yana Santos. And who's that I see right there? Is that Patchy Mix? Buried all the way down on the prelims, was on the main card of a pay-per-view just a few months ago, was telling the world that he was the best bantamweight in the world, and now he finds himself buried on the prelims against UFC debutant Jakub Viklas, the bantamweight champion of KSW, coming over to make his debut.
This is what Patchy Mix needs.
I agree.
This is what you need if you're Patchy Mix at this point in your career. You really need to make a statement here. You need to remind people, like, okay, that first performance that you saw from the UFC was not me. That was not me. The guy that you see in this fight is the guy that I was in Bellator, is the guy that I'm going to be for this organization. He needs to style here. Like, if he does anything less than rips this guy's head off, it's going to be bad. It's going to look really bad, because this is the level of opposition that you should be able to walk through as a guy as good as Patchy Mix.
In a match that is tailor-made for him. Jakub is heavy on the grappling, where Patchy Mix shines in.
Especially offensively. Like, offensively, Patchy Mix gets on top, nasty with the strikes, nasty with the submissions.
And you're going from Mario Bautista, a dude who's in the top 10 of the UFC. The lights were bright. It was the main card of a UFC pay-per-view. Now you can kind of settle in. You've got one under your belt, albeit in a loss. You're fighting a debutant who's now making his debut. The lights are going to be bright for him.
That's right.
And you're getting a good matchup in a guy against the grappler. Also, interesting, like, if you look back at Jakub, I was watching some KSW tape. Shout out to him. Most of their fights are free on YouTube to rewatch. 3 of his last 4 fights have been against this guy, Sebastian Pashubiz. I am butchering that name. He's fought him 5 times in his career. 25% of his professional fights are against Sebastian Pashubiz, including 3 of his last 4. And in the last 3.5 years, it's just been Sebastian, and some guy, Zuriko Jojua. So, I'm with you, man. This one is tailor-made for Patchy Mix. This is all right, man, we started you off hot. Go win this one, and we can start rebuilding you back up. If you lose this one, it's disaster class.
If you lose this one, it's game over. It's
game
like lights
over,
out. But if you're not impressive in this one, I think it's still bad. I think it's still pretty bad for being able to build yourself back up to enter a territory that you need to, as somebody who proclaimed themselves the best bantamweight in the world. You need to style on this guy.
Ramiz Brahimaj will be taking on Austin Vanderford, the husband of one Paige Van Zandt, who made his UFC debut earlier this year at UFC Seattle. A big win for him, a second-round finish, and now he gets Brahimaj, who is kind of similar to the Patchy Mix matchup. Like, Brahimaj loves the grappling. He almost exclusively wins by submission, and a guy like Austin Vanderford, who has that wrestling acumen, has that grappling acumen, it feels like a fight that is winnable for him to get to 2-0 in the UFC.
Yeah, it feels like it's made for him to either outstrike him on the feet, like, which I think Austin is capable of, or controlling him and staying safe and just staying out of trouble on the submission. So yeah, I agree with you. Like, this feels like Austin's fight to lose.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can move to 2-0 and maybe start doing something at 170 in the UFC. Punahel Soriano taking on Nikolai Veretennikov, and Veronica Hardy, curtain jerker against Brogan Walker, minus 825 for Miss Hardy in that one.
The latest version of Veronica Hardy is that much better than Brogan Walker. Just, that is what it is.
Shout out to Brogan Walker. All right, on the UFC card, which fight are you looking forward to most?
Merab Corey.
Okay.
Not because I think I think I've made it pretty clear how I feel about Merab, and I don't think like anybody's near him. I'm happy to see Corey get this shot. I'm interested in seeing what he can bring to Merab that past opponents have not been able to. I think it would be too obvious to go Khalil and Yuri, because I think everybody's looking forward to that. So I'm going to go Merab Corey.
I'll be the obvious. I'll go Khalil and Yuri.
Yeah.
Frankie, what about you, man?
Yeah, I agree.
There's the prelims for you. There's the featured prelims. Shout out to him. And there is the main card of UFC 320. Magomed Ankalaev, Alex Pereira, Murad Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen, Yuri versus Khalil, Emmett versus Zalal, and Avis Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. That 5-pack of fights in that main card are fantastic. And I feel like they just crescendo as you go along. You're looking forward to the next one more than you were the last one. It's
for you in the middle,
mine's more of a bell curve.
Yeah.
But either way, the top 3 fights are incredible. PFL will be taking place on Friday. PFL Champions Series with a rematch in the headliner. Paul Hughes taking on Usman Nurmagomedov. First one took place in late January. Unbelievable fight. One of the fights of the year. Incredibly close. You had Usman losing that point in the 3rd round because of the low blows. The head clash in the 4th round gets Paul bleeding. There, the scorecards right there. Scorecards are interesting. I think ultimately they made the correct choice. I thought you could have given 4 to Hughes, and if that had been across the table, it would have been a draw. Very close fight. Now Usman can't overlook him. He can't claim that. He knows what's coming at him with Paul Hughes. And I think we're in store for another fantastic fight. Paul Hughes is not intimidated, and he will be ready for this fight.
Yeah, and we saw them face off earlier. And what we saw was a little bit interesting, which was a little jawing from both of them, right?
Oh yeah, man. It feels like this time around, Usman is not sort of laughing him off like he was.
He's not
in the first
doing
one.
"you're not in my class" stuff.
Yeah, like Paul Hughes was like, "Get ready, I'm coming for you," and Usman was like, "Who even are you, dude? I don't know who the fuck you are." And like now, it's like I'm not overlooking you this time. I know you're legit. I know what you bring to the table, and obviously the in between fight that Paul Hughes had, where he got a knockout in about 30 seconds in Belfast, proved that he is at that level. Also, shout out to John Martin. A lot of integrity in that arm, keeping him separated. Red lens glasses looking good.
Shout out Johnny.
Looking good for new CEO, John Martin. Paul Hughes, jacked.
Yeah.
In insane shape. He looks like he's ready to go. Usman, the same. This fight opened with like Usman like minus 200, but the bets are coming in on the defending champ, minus 260. Paul Hughes, plus 220. It's been as big as plus 250 on some books. Fascinating fight. I think we get another close one.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to win, but I think it's going to be another exciting fight. I imagine we got fireworks in store. Paul Hughes is going to come to scrap, man.
Two things that I feel, especially after seeing that face-off. I felt that this was going to be the case, but the face-off confirmed it for me. I think both of these guys are extremely confident, right? Typically in a rematch, you have to feel like one guy or another might be a little more confident than the other just because, hey, this went, like, as an example, I bet Magomed's more confident heading into this one than Alex might have been heading into this one as compared to the first one. In this fight between Usman and Paul, I think both these guys believe that they have the other's number. And it's incredible to think, especially Paul Hughes, right, dropped a decision there. In my opinion, like at worst a draw. And if you're going to give the fight to anybody, I actually think Hughes was the one who I would edge toward. I think in real time I scored it a draw, but if I had to pick a winner,
I had it 47-45.
It would have been Hughes. I think both these guys believe that they won the first fight and can win this second fight. And as you said, like if Usman did take Paul lightly in that first fight, this second fight is going to be a lot tougher. This fight is going to be a lot tougher for Paul Hughes because at their best, the guys from that camp are absolutely insane, and just all they do is win. On the Hughes side, there were moments, he had Usman in a lot more danger than Usman had him throughout that fight. And so if you're Paul Hughes, you look at that and go, I had my opportunities. I may have left something on the table here. If I can up that a little bit, I can leave no doubt this time. This may be a hot take. This is the fight I'm most excited about this weekend. More so than Alex, more and Magomed, more so than Yuri and Khalil. This is my number one fight of the weekend. It is just two extremely high level guys getting into their primes, right? These are not even guys who are like in their primes right now, who are just scratching the surface of their absolute potential, meeting at a point where the other guy is at that same level. I love this fight. And if you're looking, look, if you want to do the easiest version of this, you look back at the first fight between Alex and Magomed, it's a little bit of a stinker. You look back at the first fight between Hughes and Nurmagomedov, and it was an all-time great fight. It was PFL's best fight in their company's short history. So for me, this is the fight of the weekend that I'm most excited about and the one that I'm looking forward to watching the most.
I think there's a chance we get to flip the script. This fight isn't as good as the first one. It's
And the
it's
other
almost
one's
impossible to live up to it.
Yeah.
And then the main event of UFC.
It's possible.
But you talk about the danger. Yeah, I mean, like Paul Hughes immediately made a video in the locker room after it, essentially just, addressing like the low blows of the point taken, the head clash that caused the pause in the fourth round. And he says that the head clash kind of made him lose his momentum. He said he was ripping to the body. He was landing good shots. He had Usman wheezing in that round and everything like that. And he was kind of able to catch his breath from the head clash. He is, in my opinion, the more dangerous fighter to get a finish. But what Usman does so great is just the fundamentals and just being able to stick to his game plan and accomplish that game plan. I mean, if you look back at his last 6 fights, back to cage warriors, first round knockout, makes his Bellator debut, second round knockout, gets the split decision win over AJ McKee. But remember, he had him hurt bad in that first round. Dangerous against Usman, and then gets a 40.
That was a bad decision. Paul Hughes dominated that fight.
Oh, yeah. The split
McKee.
Was crazy. Yeah. I remember we were watching that one together. And then against Bruno Miranda gets the first round knockout. Like, it feels like he started to elevate his game. Yeah. He's coming into his prime where finishes come more easy to him. And I'm very curious to see what happens in this one.
I'm giddy for this one.
Rank the top 4. So, the 3. Actually, let's go top 5.
Are we going? What is the metric? What are we measuring?
What are you most excited for? What are you most if you were with your boys, the one you're hyping up the most to between Mike Perry, Jeremy Stevens, main event of BKFC 82. Yeah. Paul Hughes, Usman Nurmagomedov, and then the top 3 at UFC. So Yuri, Khalil, Merab, Corey.
Just to be clear, we're going excitement, right? Like, my boys are watching this, and I'm like, you gotta see this.
Lock in.
Number 1 is Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens.
Number 1 for sure.
Number 1 is Mike Perry.
That is just look at that. King and Queen of Violence on the line in Newark on Saturday. I can't wait for that. That is savage warfare between Mike Perry and Jeremy Stevens. Both of them undefeated in BKFC.
This is possibly the most BKFC fight of all time. This is maximum BKFC.
Two dudes that are way, way, way too calm about the war that they're about to get into.
And also so willing to go to the war, which is what's going to be incredible.
It's going to be amazing.
That's number 1. Number 2, I guess Yuri and Khalil, right? You got to go that's probably the most violent. Then I'm going Usman and Hughes, and then I'm going main event of UFC last, honestly.
Oh, I'm going Alex, Magomed, and then I'm going Merab, Corey. But all 5 are must watch.
Wait, are we including Usman and Hughes?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5.
Yeah,
We're ranking 5.
Top 5.
Okay, so then Merab and Corey.
I'm going on. This is mine. Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens. Yuri versus
We're aligned on those 2.
Paul Hughes versus Usman.
Oh, that's 3 for you. Okay.
Pereira versus Magomed and Corey versus Merab. But I would also be you got to watch all 5 of these boys.
Yeah, it's hard. This is a hard exercise.
That's my 5 for in terms of
Give me 3 Usman Hughes. Give me 4. I have the same list as you.
Okay. Right, it's going to be so
I have the same list. It's going to be so sorry. Flip Merab and Corey. I have Alex and Magomed last.
Wow.
Flip Merab.
Alex Pereira last in terms of excitement. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Man. Just talking through this, I just got a grin you can't take off my face. I can't wait.
It's a combat fan's delight, truly. These are great. BKFC is a completely different product than these. It feels very different to me than the fights that we're talking about, right? When I talk about Hughes and Usman, I'm talking about pinnacle mixed martial artists. When I talk about Merab and Corey, I'm talking about pinnacle mixed martial artists. These are the cream of the crop when it comes to this sport. Mike Perry is not that, right? But what Mike Perry is when it comes to take off gloves and stick guys in a ring and guarantee that he's going to walk forward and deliver violence, he has that skill. He is the best at that.
Entertainer in the art of violence.
And I think Jeremy Stevens is a perfect foil to do the same right back. So that's why I think BKFC is my number 1 in terms of that excitement. But it's such a different offering. That's what I love about this weekend. You get that BKFC, you get Hughes and Nurmagomedov, which is not even in that same organization of the UFC, and then you get a stacked UFC card.
All right, so like my favorite thing is like when you're watching with like your friends that don't really watch fighting and like some crazy shit happens, like they're normally like, oh shit, like when someone gets like knocked out bad or something like that. Like I watched the Saudi Arabia card with some of my boys, and like when RDR got like almost knocked out by Robert Whittaker and then he came back, like they were like, oh damn, that was so crazy. Like I couldn't imagine sitting there. I don't think I've ever watched BKFC with friends where it's just like, yeah, actually change it over to this. Like, we got to watch this fight real quick. It's going to be nuts. And then it's just like,
is he dead?
Jerry Stevens like, what the fuck is this? It's like, oh, this is bare knuckle boxing between two insane people. And it's just going to be art. It's going to be fantastic. Also on that PFL card, Corey Anderson taking on Dovlet Yagshimuradov in a rematch from their 2021 fight in Bellator that saw Corey Anderson win by third round, ground and pound, but this time it will be for the PFL Light Heavyweight Championship. Nice to see these titles on the line. Nice to see them on the line.
The real titles, the one title.
What I'm saying, you got the Light Heavyweight belt. You saw Big John Martin in the middle there, hand out, but where was the other hand? Holding that PFL lightweight title. We're getting some belts on the line. Archie Colgan versus JJ Wilson, which is a fantastic fight. Undefeated versus one loss. And like, can you really blame JJ Wilson for losing to Gadzi? Potential fighter of the year, according to Fighters Only.
No, you go.
I was going to say, just another incredible fight, and that could have implications on who fights for the lightweight title next. I actually forgot to bring this up when we were talking about the main event. I think if Usman wins, he probably fights the winner of Colgan versus JJ Wilson.
Yeah.
But if Nurmagomedov wins, it's a dream for PFL.
Wait, you said Usman and then you said Nurmagomedov.
Sorry, if Paul Hughes wins,
okay,
then it's a dream for PFL, because then I think you run a third one.
Yeah.
This time you do it in Belfast.
Ah, fuck, that'd be good.
Winner gets to hold court at his home country.
Yeah.
And now Paul Hughes comes in as lightweight champion with the belt in front of that Belfast crowd. That's
I don't know
scenario.
if Usman is going to get it in his home country, but I do think if Hughes wins,
oh yeah, no,
you could do it in Belfast.
Well, you wouldn't get a trilogy if Usman wins.
That's true. Yeah, ultimately not, unfortunately, because I think that first one was close enough, and you could lean Hughes. Agree with you, man. Archie Colgan is a real prospect.
Stud, bro.
Like, he is an absolute stud. He is one of the guys that we're going to be talking about in the way that like everybody was like, dude, you don't know about Patchy Mix. Like, now, Patchy Mix was already a champion by that point, and Patchy Mix was somebody who was claiming he was the best bantamweight in the world, and there were other people who would make that claim for him as well. But I think Archie Colgan is that next guy. I think Archie Colgan is the guy that is going to be an uber prospect that we're talking about, whether he makes it to the UFC or not, ultimately, right? If you're PFL, this is the type of guy you want to hold on to and build your entire organization around, like you would a Hughes or an Usman Nurmagomedov. But if he ends up in the UFC, he's going to be somebody that I think people are very excited about.
I mean, I remember him, like he fought on Eagle FC, Habib's promotion, before going over to Bellator. And he was one of those guys on Bellator, sort of like a Cody Law style, that it's like, very few fights. They've got like 6 or 7 fights and they're like a minus 1,200 favorite. And you kind of wait for those dudes to sort of drop off, where it's just like, oh yeah, like he finally blew it as like a minus 950 favorite and lost the undefeated record. Archie Colgan is sort of a dude that continues to level up. And now it's like, oh, he's undefeated and he's 12-0, and now he's getting big fights within the PFL promotion. Yeah. So I am with you, man. I'm excited to see his career grow. And if he's able to get this win, he could be fighting for a title next potentially.
Yeah, one sneaky one also, Magomedov and Sergio Pettis is a good fight.
Magomedov, I always just like love looking at his record. 4 losses. Lost to Patchy Mix twice. Who
first time he beat him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand. Not a great debut for him in the UFC, but he's still an unbelievable mixed martial artist.
Yeah. Patchy Mix is still elite.
Raytheon Stotts and Piotr Jan. Those are the 4 fights that he's lost. Like,
pretty good names.
Pretty good names. And then Sergio Pettis, obviously, you know the man. Wins over Kyoji Horiguchi, that spinning back fist, Patricio Pitbull, Raytheon Stotts himself. Yeah, it's a great fight, dude. Those 4 fights, this is one of the best cards that the PFL can put on right now. Unfortunately, we lost the Artem Lobov fight. Not necessarily was going to be an amazing fight, but the story and the drama and everything that goes along with it, and seeing him get back in the cage would have been tremendous. But man, PFL is putting on a good show this weekend.
No, this is the best of what they can do. Like, these are your 2 best guys. This might be the best fight outside the UFC that a promotion can make right now. They're doing it right. I love the poster with them soaked in blood and the skyline in the background. Like, this is it. I know there's been some like criticism of the quote unquote promotion of this. Like, at a certain point, you have to recognize like the levers for PFL to pull are just not the same as the UFC's, right? When it comes to the UFC, they're on every single week. You're conditioned to know, okay, it's a UFC fight week. The media activity starts going up. It just does not happen that way for PFL. It did not happen that way for Bellator. They're doing their best, in my opinion. Like, believe me, if PFL has a moment to be criticized, I will take that opportunity because I think there are things to criticize. This is not that moment. Like, I don't ultimately think that they're falling short in terms of promotion or anything like that. There's just a reality that, like, it is going to be hard to cut through on a UFC pay-per-view week. If this was happening another time, another place, another opportunity, there might be something to say. But this is a fight that is worth your attention, and it is up to people like us, and it is up to the fans to say, okay, I think this fight is worth my attention, and I will tune in so that I give them the right message.
I am seeing a lot of people saying that. It's just like, oh, I guess the PFL forgot this fight was happening, and I haven't seen anyone talking about this fight while they're actively talking about the fight. And, like, I went on the PFL's Instagram and Twitter and TikTok pages, and, like, they've been pushing this fight. Like, they've been pushing it hard. Like, maybe they could have done some more on, like, YouTube or something like that, but it's just, like, they have limited resources, and also, like, beyond MMA fans, like, it's tough to get people to watch a PFL fight just because they're the second-tier organization. Like, you know, sometimes, like, to get a casual audience for the UFC is tough enough, period. Not to mention the middle of the afternoon on a Friday for PFL. So I think they're doing fine. I think MMA fans will ultimately watch it. I don't think any MMA fan who's an actual fan is out there like, wait, Usman versus Paul Hughes 2 is happening? I think everyone is aware that it's happening. I think the eyes will be around it. And I think come Friday, the buzz will be enough that people will tune in.
And there's like a new era here happening at PFL, right? The development of singular champions and saying this is the direction we're going to go. We saw this the CEO say that they're hearing what the fans are saying and they're getting back to things. It's okay if, like, this is like a reset point where it's like, okay, we're not going to spend the money that we were spending to not be able to reach the audiences and bring them in that we were doing. Let's put on a good show. Let's get the highlights everywhere. Let's continue to build from that. Maybe the third version of this fight is bigger. Maybe their next fights are bigger. This has to be a slow progression. This idea that, like, the PFL could be a competitor with the UFC probably is a fallacy to begin with. But even inch closer has to be with these small steps. Putting on the right fights, I think, is step number one. They are doing that this weekend. Build from here. And I don't need them to, like, start sprinting. I don't need them to be throwing a ton of money at, like, advertising this fight and doing this stuff. This, as you said, this is a fight only for MMA fans. No casual fan is tuning in for this fight. That's just a reality. Start small, put on the right fights, build from there, get the highlights going. Their next fights will be bigger. I'm okay.
Your boys ain't hitting the group chat this week and being like, what is it about this Paul Hughes, Usman, and Nurmagomedov fight I should be excited about?
By the way, they ain't hitting for the Alex or Magomed fight either. This is not like a mainstream appeal.
Says, oh, Pereira's fighting this weekend?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Pereira and Merab are fighting this weekend? Nice. Yep. What I would like to see PFL do is capitalize on promotion tactics that the fans are craving from the UFC. I know that takes budget. I know that takes people. I know that takes time to build that. But, like, when people beg, like, man, start creating promos for announcements more. Don't just do the formulaic copy of Dana White doing the announcement like you did with John Martin. Like, do something around an announcement when it's a massive announcement. People talk about, like, oh, we want to bring the face-to-face backs. PFL should bring the face-to-face back. Like, when you have a sit-down with these people, like, you should, if you are wise within the PFL, the shortcomings that the UFC, and Lord knows there are a lot when it comes to the actual promotion of the fights now, just because it's such a relentless machine that doesn't even really need it at this point. Capitalize on those as the PFL. Oh, you guys are doing this? Oh, I would have loved to see a sit down with, like, Usman, Hughes, and, like, one guy in the middle. And
there was a sit down. You didn't see it?
Oh, Love in Dubai.
Love in Dubai, bro.
That's exactly what I'm not.
Turn out the lights in the studio. Turn out the lights in the studio. It's a brilliant point by you. And when John Martin says there we go.
Welcome into Love in Dubai. We've got Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes.
I forgot about the camera guy.
Yeah, the camera guy. And then the one girl just sitting off to the side, just like.
That's how I look every time we start the show. That's a great point by you. When John Martin says we're listening to fans, that's a version of listening to fans, right? There are many things that fans complain about when it comes to the UFC these days. be the one who listens to what they're saying about that product and try to implement it in your own. It's a fantastic point by you. The things that they've taken their eye off the ball on, you can now make your core.
Yeah, like as much as we kind of joked and like had fun with the John Martin announcement, don't do that actually.
Yeah.
Do a production for these massive title fights that you're going to have. You only have 5 or 6 a year if they're lucky. Like really lean into it. Don't do the Dana White "what's up guys" type things. We mentioned BKFC. It's going to be unbelievable. King and Queen of Violence. Mike Perry, Jeremy Stevens. I don't have a breakdown for it. They're going to go to war. That's pretty much it.
You have to think that in his realm of BKFC, like Mike Perry is going to win this fight. Like this is
minus 400.
This is what he's built for. But I think Jeremy Stevens is going to be game, and would not be shocked if like he is just in an exchange where he's able to catch Mike Perry as well. I think that Jeremy Stevens' like power is a little bit overrated. We saw that at the end of his UFC career, where it was like Jeremy Stevens is known as a knockout artist, but like doesn't really get a ton of knockouts. He's just a really good technical scrapper who finds a way to be like both aggressive and dangerous and violent, but also like kind of protect himself decently. So I think this is going to be a good fight, but I do think Mike Perry's going to come out on top.
Christine Ferreira versus Jessica Borga for the Queen of Violence. Minus 120 each way in that one. I think both of them are just going to put on wars. If you're in the Newark, New Jersey, New York, Long Island area, if you're in the tri-state area, I highly recommend going. It's like $50 to get in. They will put on an incredible show. It will be fast-paced. And then you can be in an Uber streaming the GC Bowl. Joe Pyfer versus Abus Magomedov on your way home to watch the main card. Highly, highly, highly recommend going. I know we got the belt here. I know we had David Feldman in studio.
Shout out.
They're not paying us for promotion. We went to Knucklemania back in January, and it was unbelievable. The best combat sport event I had been to, and it was a ton of fun. So if you're in the tri-state area, don't miss out on that. If it wasn't for us doing a watch party on Saturday, we would absolutely be in the building.
Yeah.
Ariel's going to get to experience it. It's going to be great. So
a little behind-the-scenes content from Ariel.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to put the belt on the Queen of Violence?
No. I think he ultimately ends up not doing it. So an unbelievable weekend in combat sports. So we got to do Parlay Pals and picks in honor of that.
Parlay Pals.
Parlay Pals losing again. This time done a little dirty with the Jake Matthews loss. Frank had Jake Matthews, so we lose again. We're hanging on by a thread, boys. We're up like plus 0.03 units. So if we lose, we're back in the red. I think
we're still in the green.
Barely. We're essentially even.
We got screwed by the Jake Matthews?
Yeah, we got screwed by the Jake. I know a few people who did an Anzac parlay and got screwed bad. I already got Petesy's pick for this week. No simping for you, Frank. He's taking Veronica Hardy, the biggest favorite on the card.
Wow.
Well, probably the second biggest favorite once the Gautier line drops.
Yeah.
Give me Gautier minus 500 or less, and
it's an auto.
Every cent. But that's not going to happen. It's going to be like minus 2,000. All right, Frankie, you go first. I'll go second. Then Rick can go third.
Yeah, man. I got to say, I'm actually going to go with the Moroccan Devil.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you with the nickname.
I remember when Emmett did the finish with Bryce Mitchell back in 2023, but he hasn't been looking so hot lately, so the Devil's going to get it done. Off to you.
Technical breakdown there.
There's something different with Frankie today, and I like it.
I
like it.
Shout out to Sal in the back as well.
Shout out Sal.
I was going to go for that. I was going to go Yuri, but I like the matchup for one Patchy Mix. I think he gets back on the trail, back on the train, gets the train, back on the tracks. Hopefully, it doesn't sound like me when it comes to Saturday night. I'm going to go Patchy Mix. Gets it done over Jakob. I have the phonetic pronunciation. Viklas.
Shout out.
It's tough.
No surprise here. Merab Dvalishvili.
Okay.
I just don't think the man is able to be beaten.
All right, dub coming, boys. We got to get off the pine here. We got to get off the
we
mat.
kind of had the win last week. We got screwed. We got screwed.
Plus 0.03. It looks nice and green. 13 and 26. So we're averaging around a plus 200.
We're 33%.
Yeah, we're averaging around a plus 200 to be essentially even at this point. All right, over to my bets. We start with PFL. Paul Hughes, come on. It's big news, baby. Friend of the program over here. Mr. Paul Hughes, very, very close fight first time around. He's had 25 minutes of experience in the octagon with him. Plus 250. Come on, man. Fight was too close to give me plus 250 on the big news. Paul Hughes, I'm going to say he gets it done in another very close fight. And then we run the trilogy in Belfast. PFL, the story writes themselves. Let's go over to UFC. I'm coming. Yuri Prochazka. Do I think this should be lined a little bit closer? Probably, but I'm backing my boy. You know how it goes. Yuri Prochazka for the win. Then the main event, very similar to the Paul Hughes one. I think people are forgetting how close this fight was. I think he can make adjustments. Plus 230. Yeah, I'm going to take a little poke on it. I'm going to take a little poke on the losers that are now big underdogs in rematches of very close fights. And then I got some parlays where I snagged the favorites, Patchy and Fareed, Vanderford, and Edmund Shabazian. I like both the matchups for them going against mostly grapplers. Yusuf Salal and the co-main to go over 4.5. I don't see, unless like Corey just stings him, I just don't see too much of a world where Merab is getting, or I mean where someone gets a finish there.
Yeah.
Unless Merab gets clipped. And then one last one, also with Patchy Mix, and we'll go with Body Bags. Joe Pfeiffer. I like the power of him to get it done there. And those are the bets.
I think it was something about cam.
Oh yeah, body cam off.
Yeah,
he's gonna kill him after as he said at the press junket yesterday. So shout out to him. Those are the picks for UFC 320. And we had to do a fight feast because it was a pay-per-view. We thought about doing, what do we do for this one? We could go get Russian food, but we did borscht and stuff last year. Alex Pereira, we already did the Brazilian steakhouse for him. Really thought about doing Georgian food. There's a Georgian restaurant here called Shama Mama, and it's Georgian food. I was like, God, that's too perfect. But we did that last year as well. I feel like we just need a little bit more time to go by before we do Georgian food again. Me and Frankie are dying for it, Lord knows. So what did we land on? We landed on food from the Czech Republic in honor of Yuri Prochazka. Me and Frankie, a little duo adventure, hopped in the Winnebago, headed out to Queens, and visited Kaliba to try Czech food for the very first time. Take a look.
UFC 320 Fight Week. The promotion returns to Las Vegas. Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev main event. Murad Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen in the co-main event. We're not here for that. We're here for the featured bout of the evening, the people's main event, Yuri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree. And that brings us to Kaliba here in Astoria, Queens. Going to try Czech food for the very first time. Never had it. Little goulash, little schnitzel. We're going to find out. Fight Feast episode 27. Let's go for that. All right, we're off to a hot start here. Authentic Czech Pilsner Urquell in a branded Kaliba glass as well. Like, these people know ball. Frankie here's got the Czech VAR. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. Cheers, brother. I'm in. Sunday afternoon, some Czech beers. Tastes like a good Pilsner. We might as well put it down the hatch.
Actually, I want to try the Pilsner.
We can order another one. Don't interrupt my chugging. You're watching a master at work here. Those are coming from the depths. I'm not enjoying this. I had sunburn yesterday at the Ryder Cup, and now I'm having brain freeze from this ice cold beer. It's a crazy feeling. Greatest chugger on planet Earth wins again.
I mean, it did take you 6.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out post stuff, right? We're ready to roll. All right, look at this spread. I've got my Czech VAR beer here. We got Yuri's favorite food, fried cheese and French fries. He spoke with Alex B. Cunin, did Humanizing Athletes. This is his favorite food. It wasn't on the menu, but they serve it here. We're the secret menu here. Beef goulash with Czech dumplings, pierogies, spetzel, a potato pasta, bacon on top, classic pierogies. Yuri's favorite food right here, he said fried cheese and French fries are his favorite food. So We are going for that, and we are going for the fried cheese and French fries. Oh, it's just a patty of fried mozzarella. Look at the pull. Look at the pull on it. And tartar sauce, according to Mysterious Frank, indigenous to the Czech Republic. It is formed naturally there. Goes with the, I'm getting a big off camera. It goes with the fried cheese though. Here we go. Nothing to say, it's fried cheese. It's unbelievable. There's no way I could do these two patties. I would be in the John. What is incredible, do we do vegetables with it? Did I stab me a little mater on there? A little kebab? It can't not be good. Check, what do you got in terms of cheese bowl? Oh, she wanted to see the cheese bowl up close. My God, look at it. The Czechs know how to do a cheese bowl. Look at that cheese bowl. I'm coming! Wow. 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 I'm in awe. I'm in awe right now. I get it, Yuri. I get it. I'm getting a bit emotional off of that cheese bowl. I feel a tear coming to my eye right now. Slam dunk in the tartar sauce. Wash it down with the Czech bar. Cheers, brother. I almost got a standing ovation for that cheese bowl. Amid Chicago, you've been outdone. That was, wow. We roll along after the unbelievable 11 out of 10 cheese bowl. We move on to pierogies and spatzel. This is essentially just potatoes, cheese, and bacon. This is it in a dumpling form. This is it sort of noodle style, pasta style. I can't imagine I'm not gonna like this, but just to be sure, we might as well try it. Yeah, potato dumpling with bacon. Chives, bringing out some flavors, green onion. I feel like when you have a pierogi, you have to eat one. Like you just plucked a Tom and Jerry style goldfish out of a bowl and you just, yeah, unbelievable. Never had spatzel, kind of looks like a chicken salad. Looks like a mayo salad, but I think that's just cheese. Yeah, I was told it's gnocchi-like. The cheese is sharp. I don't like this as much as the pierogi. The cheese is a lot. You have to say that the cheese is a little too much for me. I much prefer the pierogies when we come to the Czech potato-based dishes. It's all you, Frankie.
These are scallions, not chives.
Fuck you.
This is more of a potato dumpling than this. This is a dumpling stuffed with potato.
Fuck you.
Starting with the pierogi here.
No bacon, vegetarian.
Oh man, that's tasty as hell. Spatzel, we call them?
Respect the holding of the plate, too.
Yeah. Oh man, delicious, creamy, so good.
Do you care to tell us your Czech story? Come on.
My mouth is full.
Even better.
My dad's side of the family is Czechoslovakian. My last name is actually Lindsguish, but it was cut in Ellis Island when my great-grandparents came over from the Czech Republic. My own son is named with the traditional Czech name. You'll have to imagine what that is. Yeah, enjoy yourselves.
Have to say, they're playing like a Czech Republic station that's just been playing bangers this entire time. It's great. No one else in here is talking. We're just vibing to this radio. They're playing something right now. Beef goulash. Never had a goulash before in my life. This is my first time having it. Have to say, not what I expected. You hear goulash, you kind of think, oh, like slop. This is not slop. This is beautiful. Peppers adding some color to the brown sauce around the beef. It's incredible. And so here we have Czech dumplings. It looks like bread, but don't be fooled. We've been trained by our waitress here. You don't grab it and dunk, you go piece by piece. So what we're gonna do, we'll cut up a bit of steak beforehand. Oh, tender to the bone. It just falls apart. Get a little dumpling here. It's a bite by bite type thing. Bite by bite. Little steak. Let's get the sweep through first. We're just gonna mess this plate up. Get a little steak. Get a little onion on there as well. Yeah, I get it. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. Could maybe use some more onions, honestly. The beef it just falls apart when you touch it with your fork. Give me this on like a nice 28-degree night. There's a lot of problems in this world, but there are none in this restaurant tonight because we're eating beef goulash. Not bad. Now I do have to note, There's only so much dumplings. There's only so much beef. What do you do with all the extra goulash? Like a cereal type thing? You just... Oh, stupid. Not bad. Ooh, just bit the inside of my cheek, God damn it. That's gonna grow throughout the week. We went for that. I'm coming. I'm coming! Me and Frank about to do a digestive Pecherovka. Cheers, brother. Just want to get a quick tooth. Oh my God, you're finishing it? Check, please. Yeah, check. Thank you so much. Check, please. Nailed it. Frank taking us to a beer garden with check food. Went down smooth, went down nice. I do have to say, we ordered some pickled herring at the end there, and they just never brought it. They just didn't even acknowledge that we ever ordered it. Beautiful day here in Queens, home of One Action Bronson. Camera's a little close, no? Can we get a look at that shirt? Shout out to Full Violence. My favorite fighter merch ever, right here. Look at that shirt. Let's go for that. I'm coming! All right, Frankie did something right for once in his life, brought us to this beautiful Bohemian beer garden. Cheers, brother. Shout out, another Pilsner on there. I don't think I said that right at all. Shout out to Yuri Prohashka, shout out to UFC 320. Fight Piece episode 27 in the books. I am coming. Let's go for that. I am coming.
Oh, all right. That was a fantastic way to spend a Sunday. I'm bummed that you could not come. It was great.
Same. I was a little bit bummed because the type of food was like right in my wheelhouse. Bringing home leftovers to Holly would have been tremendous. I was bummed, but it looked like a great time. I also like you acknowledging Frankie getting something right with the beer garden.
Wow. No.
It was a good call. He was just like, yeah, I think there's like a beer garden near here. And then
literally said there's a Bohemian beer garden. Let's do, we could catch some more footage.
Yeah, like one or two.
Can we break the fourth wall?
Well, they didn't show the footage of me realizing it. Like as we walked up, there's Czech flags hanging, and I was just like, "Oh shit!"
My man may not have known that Bohemia was a region inside the Czechoslovakia. All right, check.
I only know the rap city.
Also, Action Bronson from Queens. Shout out a legend. I'm also from Queens. I could have maybe gotten a shout out.
I could have said Mr. Jackman. Also from Queens.
I've got a Fight Feast bonus, a little extra, a little surprise for you.
All right.
Tell me some of your favorite food related things from Chicago. Give me. Just start listing them off.
Deep dish, cheese.
Yeah.
Grater's popcorn.
Okay. No, it was Garrett, right? Garrett's one. All right. What else do you like? Focus on the pizza.
Hot dogs, pizza, pepperoni, sausage, onion.
No, like maybe like brands. Like what do you like from pizza?
Oh, Home Run Inn.
Okay, so Garrett's Home Run Inn, yeah? You like those two?
Yeah, those two.
You like those two things a lot.
No way.
What if I told you?
Pizza flavored popcorn? Pizza flavored popcorn.
Did a collaboration.
Home run. Have you tried this yet?
I have not.
Holy shit, we have to try this on the air right now.
Shout out to Garrett. Shout out to Home Run Inn.
Shout out to Garrett. Shout out to Home Run Inn for real.
Apparently, this is only available at certain
it's
supermarkets in Chicago.
If you've ever had pizza goldfish, that's what it smells like.
Let's get a nice little. Oh, it smells good.
It really tastes like a pizza.
It really does taste like pizza. Holy shit!
It really tastes like a pizza. This is incredible.
Frank's loving the chewing into the.
Wow, who sent this over? Home Run Inn? You went
Tessa Hirsch, Pizza Princess. Tessa Hirsch, shout out our friend. They just launched this collaboration, and it's only available in like certain supermarkets in the Chicagoland area. So she sent us a bunch.
Man, shout out
to you.
There's like a few moments in there where it really tastes like pizza.
Yeah,
I swear I taste red sauce.
I'm not a big fan of like the pizza, like you're talking about, like the goldfish. There's also the pizza Pringles. I'm not like a huge fan of these. I mean, when it comes to Garrett and it comes to Home Run Inn, you're getting quality.
All right, that's Fight Feast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Still have pound for pound still have your voicemails, still have super chats. I mean, we're simply just getting started here ahead of a big week in combat sports. We'll be right back. 6'1" versus 5'5".
This feels like a lying 5'5" though.
I am 6'1" when I stand next to someone, no offense to them, that is 5'5". I am towering over this person.
Yes.
I am much, much taller.
We literally saw it. Jake is towering over Tank. If Jake Paul stands there like a cartoon and puts his hand on Tank's head and Tank is windmilling at him, how is he going to hit him?
Alabama's just different now. I don't know if they needed to taste their own blood. I don't know if they needed to have their competitive character called into question. Whatever it was, it worked. The classic "here we go again," which is eternal now. It's just evergreen for Georgia fans when they play Alabama. You don't believe in ghosts. You don't believe in goblins. You don't believe in any of that stuff, but you believe in Alabama if you're a Georgia fan. It's got to be a nightmare because it doesn't even matter how good you've looked. Here we go again.
Is Jordan Love okay, man? Like that last play was one of the most baffling things that I've ever seen in terms of like game management, where he just threw it to the back of the end zone as time was about to expire and luckily landed out of bounds with 1 second left. Getting the touchdown. It would have been sweet if he scored, but wow, that was so risky and so unnecessarily risky too.
The way it ended has to also mean something. You still have to hold these guys accountable. At a certain point, if we actually believe that Penn State is going to turn the corner and be a real national title contender, like you want to see them win that football game, and they just did not do it again. If the game would have ended the way the third quarter ended, like we would be like, what the hell was that? But that's the fun thing about football. There are 4 quarters, and oftentimes the fourth one's the most important.
Welcome back. Someone, I think it was 24-inch Dubs, pointed out in the chat, we keep running that promo, and it's just Josh Pate highlighting Georgia's failures against Alabama over the last decade.
No, it's not just that. It's also me saying that Jake Paul is going to comically hold Tank Davis while he wins.
Small world, though. Shout out to Josh Pate, legend. Good for the bald brand. Also incredible college football analysis. I was pretty pumped when he joined Yahoo. Everyone was just like, what's college football? I was like, oh, it's a pretty big sport around here. But yeah, my dog's coming up short once again to Alabama. I don't know what happens, but when we see those crimson helmets, we just piss down our leg. It's great. All right, pound for pound this week in honor of the release of The Smashing Machine. If you haven't seen it yet, it comes out tonight at midnight, so I would assume you haven't seen it. I just pulled a Helwani. I've been shitting on him all week for him being like, in case you haven't seen it yet, it's like, dude, it doesn't come out till Friday. Midnight release tonight in all theaters across the country. Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr, The Rock acting as Mark Kerr, Emily Blunt, Boss Rutan steals the show. Don't sleep on Boss Rutan. Ryan Bader. All of this based on the documentary that came out in the early 2000s, The Smashing Machine, The Life and Times of Extreme Fighter Mark Kerr. That's what they coined him as back then. So in honor of that, we are going to be ranking top 5 documentaries. Frankie, what's the order?
The order today is a little special. It's going to start with Frank.
Okay.
And it's going to go to Connor Burks.
All right.
And we're going to have Eric Jackman finish it off.
Wow. You've done it again, Frankie. You've done it again. Mapping that out so eloquently.
I appreciate that. So let's start with Frank.
Let's do it, man.
My number 5 is a documentary called Enron, The Smartest Guys in the Room.
Yeah.
Now, this one hits close to home. I was living in Houston when the whole shebang happened with Enron. Real quick, I first watched this documentary off of Netflix when the only way you could watch streaming Netflix was on your computer or on the Xbox 360.
Oh.
And if you haven't seen the movie, there's just a tiny spoiler. Enron was in talks with Blockbuster where they were trying to do a streaming video on demand, like in the early 2000s, and the tech just wasn't there. That didn't stop them from trying to get investor money for it. And I just thought it was really ironic that Microsoft was Enron's like bigger competitor, and Blockbuster and Netflix obviously went head to head. So I'm like, here I am watching this on their successor's success after Enron fumbled the bag.
I thought you were probably the only one thinking that in the entire universe.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks for pointing that out.
I thought you were going to say that you got the documentary through the mail.
From
man,
the red
that was-
box, the
That's the
old
thing.
school.
No. Netflix used to just.
Yeah,
Oh
Just
yes,
mail
they
them
used to
to you.
sell out the DVDs.
Can I tell you guys something crazy? My parents
Still
were,
own a
were still getting the mail up until Netflix discontinued it.
When did that happen?
I think like 2019.
Yeah, you remember when they tried
Something
to
like
change
that?
the name to like Flickster or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, my parents, like, I'd like come home and back to my house from college, and my mom would be like, I got a movie from Netflix on DVD if you want to watch it. I'm like, Mom, they have a streaming app. You can just watch it whenever.
By that point, by the 2018, 2019, was the stuff that they were sending out on DVD also already on the service? Like you could pull it up?
It reached a threshold where it was all on the streaming service, but there was a time where they stuck it out when the mailing had better options.
And was that part of a Netflix subscription and you could just do that additionally, or was it a separate thing?
I don't know. I can't.
Because it would be
used
weird
it,
if she
Rick? Yeah.
if she had the Netflix subscription and was still getting it mailed when
Bro,
you
I'm
could just
telling you,
pop that
it-
on the TV.
It wouldn't be that weird. My parents are in their late 60s, and like I go home and it's just like mountains of newspapers, and I'll like move it. And my mom will be like, "Wait! Is that the AJC or is that the Wall Street Journal? Because I'm saving last Tuesday's edition. I need to read that article."
The one thing I did like about the mail service is you could just queue up what you wanted.
Yes, yeah.
Because you could have like 2 movies at a time. So if somebody's like, oh, you got to watch this movie, blah, 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 my name's Rick, you just go put it on the queue. And then after you turn back the DVD, you don't even know what's coming. Just bam, like, oh, okay, I guess I'm watching the movie.
And then it comes to
Nailed
your
that
house and you
impression.
skip it like Frank.
Yeah,
did.
I'd be like, oh, this is a
Yeah.
Rick suggestion?
Fuck this.
All right.
Fuck this.
Yeah,
My number
wait.
4.
I always tell my parents, I'm always
Like Andor, that piece of shit.
Oh, that was great.
Mom, Dad, I can get everything on a Kindle, all your subscriptions right there. It doesn't have to have a bright light. It can be like paper. You can take it anywhere. They're just like, nah.
She's like, I read in this newspaper over here, this one
Yeah.
from two Thursdays ago.
Single-handedly keeping the newspaper industry alive. Shout out to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
And shout out to my number 4, which
Yes.
is also a early 2000s documentary called The Corporation. Again, just really powerful, talks about the premise of it, honestly, is that by legal definition, a corporation is a entity, like it's a person. So what they do is they do a psychological analysis of a corporation to see if the FBI would consider them insane, like if they were just doing a profile.
If the corporation was a person, would they be an insane person?
Correct, because they are legally a person. That's why you become incorporated, is to have the liability all go to this person that doesn't really exist. So it's a really interesting premise. Spoiler alert, they are absolutely insane. This documentary used to be like premium, then it went for free. It's still, again, it's 25 years old at this point, I think, and it's still relevant. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend checking it out. Another documentary that I would recommend checking out is my number 3, and this one was a hard one to pick, but it's Biggie and Tupac. This is a documentary that came out in the late 90s by
sick.
Nick Broomfield, who is also
yes, I've seen
he's an
this.
English filmmaker. He did a Kurt and Courtney documentary as well. But this one was really at the height of people being suspicious of the deaths surrounding Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur, and they actually go and interview individuals that were familiar with those 2 victims as things happened, including like Biggie's mom and stuff. Like very eye-opening, very again kind of conspiratorial. I'm not gonna lie, but we were talking about gonzo journalism yesterday on Ariel's show, and this holds true. Like Nick just sticks himself in the thick of it and really has people open up to him, and it's very powerful. Speaking of power,
Were you a Biggie or Tupac guy?
I am a Tupac guy.
Okay.
What's the final consensus?
On what?
Is he in Puerto Rico somewhere? Or is
No, I mean they're dead, but it's like, do the LAPD? Have
Oh,
to
you're
do
asking
with
who
that?
killed him. I thought you were saying, is he alive?
That could be.
That's,
thing,
that's
like,
the real one.
Just because we're still talking about it, Biggie's mom is like, I used to come to my kid and be like, yo, these lyrics, what's up with it? He's like, Mom, it's all just, bullshit. Like, it's just stuff that I'm thinking. And she's like, so my kid got killed because someone took his jokes or his, like, alternate reality too seriously. And, like, I'm like, was he telling her the truth? Was he just kind of telling her to buzz off or whatever? But if that's what she believes, like, that's fucked up, in my opinion, Number 2 is a documentary from the early 2000s called Hype. And this movie actually came out at catalogs and looks back on the entire grunge music scene out of Seattle, specifically in the late 80s to early 90s. Fantastic showcasing of a lot of the artists that were still around in the early 2000s that were kind of talking about how they never asked for the hype that ended up getting thrust on them. I mean, they became they started as a music scene and then it became like a fashion statement. Then MTV kind of rode it into the ground. Like we all know, we lost Kurt Cobain, we ended up losing Lane Staley. Like these are all victims of the fact that this music scene that used to mean something to just a small community became this worldwide phenomenon. And it's probably the last that we've seen one regional scene like that just take off outside of hip hop. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, I would recommend it. Which brings me to my number one. I would watch this documentary any day of the week. Doesn't matter what time of the year. It's called The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. I slept on this forever,
yes.
and it was brought to my attention. Just amazing, because what it is it talks about the record holders of old arcade games, like starting back in the late 70s and 80s. And then there's this one guy who just like, he actually worked at Boeing at Seattle. He lost his job and his kind of in between jobs, depressive state. He just started playing Donkey Kong and was like, you know what, I'm going to try to beat the world record. So they came out and documented this. Little did he know, and little did the documentarians know, there's like a whole scene behind who keeps these records. And there's this one individual, he's on the picture right now, Billy Mitchell, who is like, history has now shown us that he's an absolute fraud and has been called out for it. But at the time that the film was made, there was still a kayfabe going on where like people were suspicious, but like this dude was just so full of himself, just would look you dead in the eye and claim that he had this highest score when it all ended up being not true. So if I'm
why
not
does
doing,
why does he have that?
He also had like a
obnoxiously-
side business of selling hot sauce. So
Wow.
he was just a character. And like if you read the behind the scenes, the documentarians are like, we only got to show a small percentage of how insane this guy is because we realized if we showed all of it, no one would believe us that this was an actual documentary and not like scripted, because like just everything that he came up with was just like, what did you just say and why are you doing this? But that's my list. I'm happy to share it with you guys.
Shout out, man. Shout out. I've never seen any of them.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what we do. We trade.
I love it. I love a good doc. I'm going to have to watch The King of Kong. All right, mine. Number 5, this one came out a few years back. Love a good Jimmy Chin doc. You know, sort of nature. He did Maru, 14 Peaks, a lot of it around mountain climbing. This one came out in theaters, went and saw it, and ended up winning the Oscar for Best Documentary. Definitely hit the Benjamin a couple times before watching it, if we must admit, but it is Free Solo, about Alex Honnold climbing El Capitan out in Yosemite. No ropes, no safety harnesses, no nothing. 3,000-foot granite wall. Unbelievable feat. Unbelievable the way they shot it. And yeah, like the emotional impact that it had on everyone he knew, that it was just like, oh yeah, he could definitely die, dude. He could definitely die doing this. Very harrowing tale. Pretty crazy, the insight that they got there. Number 4. Now, I heard you guys...
Did you hear about this, that he's going to climb the building?
What?
On Netflix?
No. Live?
Yeah. He's going to climb a Taiwan skyscraper that's 1,600 feet.
Oh, man.
God.
On Netflix, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He's going to do it, too. He's an absolute psycho.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's definitely...
Like, he's saying goodbye to his, like, girlfriend or wife in the thing before he goes and does it. And, like, she's crying, and he's just like, yeah, it's going to be fine. Like, even if I die, this is what I want to do when I die. So you kind of just got to accept it. So, yeah. Wow, I'm in. Live on Netflix. Shout out to Alex Honnold. Number 4, I heard some talks before the show. There's 2 seasons. I don't recognize the second season of it. It is The Jinx, one of the best docs that HBO has come out with.
It's the second season?
There's no need to watch the second season. Waste of time. He's dead by then. Real estate heir. Insane story. The footage that they get is simply unbelievable. One of the biggest twists in the end. I'm not going to say any spoilers, but this is a phenomenal documentary. You should absolutely go watch it. It's so well made by HBO. The
end of season 1 is
one of the most like jaw-dropping, craziest.
Yeah.
The lives and deaths of Robert Durst. It keeps you entertained the entire way. It's unbelievable. Elite. All 5 of these that I have, in my opinion, are elite. Number 3, OJ, Made in America, the 30 for 30, the unequivocal, inarguable best 30 for 30 in my opinion. It's like 10 episodes overall. It's like 8 hours long. The most comprehensive OJ doc out there. The footage that they have, the interviews that they have. Marsha Clark, Nicole's sister, Tanya Brown, his agent is interviewed. Carl Douglas, one of his lawyers, is interviewed. The footage that they have, the access that they got, it's unbelievable. If you have not watched it, it is like, it's crazy the impact that this case had on the United States of America in 1994 and the years after. It truly is. It's crazy. Unbelievably well made. Couldn't recommend it enough. Shout out to 30 for 30. Number 2, a much more somber, a much sadder doc, but one of the most unbelievable storytellings I have ever witnessed on television. Nat Geo, 9/11, One Day in America, 6 episodes, just telling the entire story of the day from sunup to a few days later when the cleanup begins and everything. The footage that they get in this documentary is some of the most unbelievable stuff I have ever seen. Like, from beginning to end, they have found home videos, newscasts, everything, the interviews that they get in this one, and then the footage to corroborate the interviews is just, it's incredible. It is one of the most insane storytelling pieces I have ever watched. There is no 9/11 doc that even comes close to this. Watch it every year. It is so incredible. Shout out to Nat Geo for that one. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And then number 1, because the last one is like, you can only watch it so many times and it's just such intense, heavy subject matter. Not the number 1 for me. Number 1 for me took over the United States of America, and I think a lot of the world during the pandemic. It was the only thing to watch. 10 parts. Just like my number 2, the footage that they had, the wherewithal that they had to get all of this footage behind the scenes of one of the most interesting figures in time, Mr. Michael Jordan. It's The Last Dance. 10-episode documentary done by ESPN. I mean, the interviews that they get in this one, the footage that they have, it's unbelievable. I bought like 3 pairs of Jordan 1s throughout the entire season. This one came out like week after week on Sunday nights, I believe it was, during like peak pandemic times. I was like, yeah, might as well get another pair of Jordan 1s. Why not? So yeah, shout out to The Last Dance. Unbelievable.
As a 90s kid, like I was coming of age in the 90s, as you probably know from my last Pound for Pound, Jordan and the Bulls were like such an essential part of that. The last
no one looks cooler than Michael Jordan over the course of those 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, wow, this dude was a badass.
Yeah. And the lore was already crazy to that point, and then it pushed it over the top even.
That's when I was like, this guy's untouchable.
Yeah. Okay. Great lists from both of you guys. Really enjoyed this so far. Number 5 for me. Also, I should just maybe a little disclaimer up front. Like, I'm realizing how much of a basic bro I am from my list, but that's okay.
We've been trying to tell you.
I'm all right with it. Number 5. We've talked about this many times on this show. Ariel has talked about it before. I had the pleasure of working a little bit on it, doing public relations at the time that it came out. It's a film about somebody we know and love named Dustin Poirier, as well as another fighter, Albert Steinbach. But this is the film fight, though. And it chronicles Dustin and Albert's. Funny enough, like all the initial posters, DVD stuff was all Albert.
Yeah.
And then obviously as Dustin kind of rises to prominence, this came out right around when he was fighting Korean Zombie. Then it started to be about Dustin in terms of like the box cover and things like that. Now he's gone on to become a legend of the game and somebody we love and admire. But at the time, it is truly the struggle of like a very low level fighter, of a local fighter who just wants to make it, just wants to make their dream come true. It, unlike, we talked, the inspiration for this was the documentary, The Smashing Machine. Kerr was near the end of his career by that point, right? He was an established guy. This was a look inside like the grit, the real local in the mud. He's fighting in what's it called when they have like the fair and they have like the pigs? Like what's like that area called?
Oh yeah, like the rodeo area.
Yeah, like that. Like on the dirt, they have a cage set up, and the promoter is an incredible character. But if you're a fan at all of MMA, and if you're a fan at all of Dustin Poirier, like this is the story to follow. You should please go back and watch this documentary.
So I went back and watched it before the Islam fight last year in June, and it's just like, now that you know how the story is written and how it's completed, it's just like mind-blowing to see him that young, the aspirations that he had, and just like to know what he goes on to accomplish. It is incredible.
It is crazy that he's made his dreams come true. And the other character, the other person in the documentary was somebody who was extremely talented, probably more talented than Dustin, and that's why he was kind of the name the face you'd want to put on it and prominent, but he just never could kind of like put it all together, and he ends up not ultimately becoming much of anything in MMA. But an incredible documentary, and especially now in hindsight, knowing what we know about Dustin, could not recommend it enough for our fan base. Number 4, you talked about this one, Oscar-winning documentary, OJ Made in America. The intersection of culture that this like spans, like the true wide spanning 90s culture that this impacts, and talking about this case and how it took over America, and also just the other like racial implications going into the Rodney King beatings in LA. Like all the stuff that this documentary touches on is so much wider than just the case itself. But then even in the case itself, just an incredible, truly like objective telling of the facts of this OJ case. Oscar, as I said, Oscar winning, like it needs no more accolades. It is an incredible documentary, incredible piece of filmmaking.
And I was born in '93, so like OJ, my whole life has been OJ post trial. Like to see what a hero he was in the U.S. and like what a superstar, the amount of commercials, the amount of movies that he was doing, like it would be like, I don't even know a proper comparison. Like it would be like
it's like he was almost like a Charles Barkley, right? He was like this guy that everybody loved, revered. Like he was the guy that everybody was like, oh, he's an incredible football player. He transitions into this acting career. He was just such a beloved icon of culture.
Charles Barkley is a solid comparison. Like everyone loves Charles, and then it's just like, wait, Charles murdered his wife?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. If I did do it.
If I did it.
Yeah.
But yes, like an absolutely meticulously perfectly done documentary over the course of, I believe you said it was 10 parts. I forget off the top of my head. But so well constructed, so well made. Number 3, a documentary that took many, many years to finalize because of things potentially holding it back. But when it came out, man, it was a masterpiece. It was a beautiful piece of filmmaking. When We Were Kings, the story of Muhammad Ali in the lead up to the Rumble in the Jungle. Just like some footage of Ali that I cannot shake from my head, and you will not see anywhere else. Like capturing, you want to talk about American icons. Like we're talking about O.J. Simpson. When you want to talk about people that had America in an absolute stranglehold, this was the man. This was every single American knew who Muhammad Ali was. And in the lead up to this fight, there's so much like political influence and other things that come into the picture here. It is a truly gripping and fascinating doc if you have not seen it.
I've actually seen it. Yeah, it was. I was like on the elliptical or something one day, and I was just scrolling through, and they had it on HBO, and I threw it on, and then I finished it when I got home. It was tremendous.
Yeah, like Muhammad Ali's, like at the time that it came out, Muhammad Ali was already like on the downside and descending into the unfortunate like battle with Parkinson's and what we had seen of him in his later years. But it was such an insane reminder of the charisma of this man and like what he was like, how he was able to capture the imaginations of the public through his, not only his boxing, but his political activism and everything else. He was just a true titan of sport, a true titan of culture and industry. Shout out to Muhammad Ali. But yes, an incredible doc. Again, another one that like tailored for, if you're a fan of the fight game, that is one to see. I would say the best boxing documentary, one of the best boxing films, period. Number 2, this one's an early 90s one, but one that like really opened my eyes when I was a kid. Hoop Dreams.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah, like to see the ups and downs, like to that point in my early years, like I when I would turn on the movies, it was always like a happy story. It was always like an inspirational story. It was always like, okay, there's a down, but then at the end there's a happy ending and everything's fine. This documentary really opened my eyes to the idea that like it does work out for some, it doesn't work out for others. There's struggles in between, real life. This was another one like OJ, like the OJ doc that really like introduced you to culture in America in a way that I think like opens people's eyes. Certainly mine. Maybe I'm speaking for others, but it was certainly one that for me was like, okay, this is how people in the inner city of Chicago live, and this is like, not everything has a happy ending, not necessarily a bad ending either, but not everything is like this perfect kind of story. And being able for people like that to be able to open up and you to be able to have a view into that was something that was like really interesting to me at that time and kind of shaped my way of thinking around documentaries and just movies in general from there. An incredible watch if you're a hoops head. It's a great one, a really interesting tale of high school kids and their families in Chicago. Number 1, it's The Last Dance.
Yeah,
it had to be The Last Dance. I mean, come on,
so good, dude.
This is probably for me like on this list the most like empty calories, right? Because it's not like this is some like cultural like review. It's really just a hoop stock. It really is just like looking back at like Jordan in the 90s and the impact he had. But God damn it, if it didn't produce like the best memes and the doc became the cultural moment. Like it's not reflecting on a cultural moment other than like the 90s Bulls were sick and Jordan was sick and Rodman was sick and Pippen probably shouldn't have been shit on as much as he was. But then it itself, the release of this doc, because of it coming out during the pandemic, became the cultural moment. This was the reflection of culture. And it produced those incredible memes. We had the Jordan taking it personally. We have Dennis Rodman explaining he goes this way. We had the security guard.
Oh, yeah, the shrug.
Who's flipping like the quarters with Jordan. I mean, it was just, it was a moment in time.
It took over. It was appointment television. There was really nothing going on. It was so well made. Like, talk about ESPN lucking into like, they made an unbelievable doc, but like lucking into the timing of when it was coming out, it took over. It shut down entertainment on Sunday nights.
And Jordan participating in it is like,
changed everything.
A lot of times these docs, you can kind of skirt around the edges. You get people who were there, this and that. You get Jordan and it just
he was able to control a little bit of the narrative of like making them look sterling.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. I mean, they made them look like the
pinnacle of cool.
Pinnacle of cool, man. It was unbelievable. Shout out to the docs list. Love a good doc. Love a good doc. Last Dance, topping 2 of them. Shout out to the King of Kong. I might have to tune into that, Frank.
It's worth it. I've seen that. It's quite good. And as you said, Billy is a very interesting character.
Frankie, we got any voicemails, brother?
Damn right we do.
Ahoy, hoy. Hey, I had a question. Do you guys think it's smarter to bet before the weigh-ins or after the weigh-ins?
Oh, that's the whole thing. I've never really taken that into account. I get the line when you think it's good. It doesn't make a difference to me. If you're sitting there and watching a guy weigh in at 155.5 pounds and you're like, his cheeks seem kind of drawn in, then like I don't know what to tell you. Well, I mean, I get like, if a guy comes in at 159 or 161, you'll be like, oh shit. But like, I'm not one that waits to see the weigh-ins.
If there's one of those fighters where they regularly miss weight or you're concerned about their weight, right? Like Hamza, right? If it's like, I want to see if Hamza makes weight, I guess you could wait till after the weigh-in. But I've seen enough fights where it's like, sometimes missing weight is an advantage. Or I've seen a guy who looks completely sunken and looks like he's on the verge of death and he comes out and has the best performance of his life. I really don't know. Weight cutting is just so quintessential and like rather essential to the sport at this point, and everybody's doing it. I don't read too much on like how they look on the scale, because I've just seen guys blow weight and win easily. I've seen guys look like they're on the verge of death and win. I've seen guys look fantastic on the scale and get the doors blown off. It's just it's hard to read the scale. I don't put too much into it. So just whenever you get the best line.
Boys in the back, first time, long time.
Hey.
I'm originally from the East Coast, living on the West Coast, thinking about moving back to the East Coast.
Okay.
Well, New York City's too expensive for me,
yep.
Unless you can really sell me on it. Give me your thoughts and opinions on Philadelphia.
Ooh.
That's it.
What do we think?
I like Philadelphia. You're going to run into kind of the similar issue of like cold winters, getting dark kind of early. It's way, way, way more affordable than New York City, and it is an easy train ride up here. And, you're accessible to, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New York. You could go to Boston if you wanted to. And then Philly itself it's a nice town. You got good food. You got 4 major sports teams. I personally am not moving to Philadelphia. But yeah, Yeah, there's a lot to choose from the East Coast. It's not just the Northeast. Go Miami, go Atlanta, Charleston, maybe a Charlotte, where you work your way up the coast. A DC is nice. Seacoast.
Shout out to Troy.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Portland, Maine.
I like Philly. I feel like you could get decent value, right? If you're comparing it to New York, you'll probably get
it's gonna be cheaper than
a better place, but you're also in Philly as opposed to New York. I don't know. Philly feels like an in between. This might be a hot take. I feel the same way about Philly, Chicago, a little bit of Boston. If you want to live in New York, just live in New York, right? Don't do the approximation. Like, don't go to the B. Don't go to the great value version of New York City. If you want to live in the big city, go live in the big city. Go to New York. Like, don't do the. So that's how I kind of feel about the like other big metropolitan cities. Is like either do it or don't. Go to LA. Go to New York. Or if you're not, then just go live in the suburbs somewhere.
Those, though, I feel like have their own person. Like Chicago, especially. Chicago is a metropolis.
It's just New York. It's diet New York. It's just like New York.
I disagree here. Chicago has a great personality, a great city behind it. So does Philadelphia. There's just something about Philadelphia.
No joke, Connor. Like, go get stuck in traffic in Chicago, and you'll probably change your opinion of this. Traffic is horrendous.
I mean, bro, the running list I have of things that I hate about New York. If the traffic is the worst thing in Chicago, I'll survive. The traffic in New York is not great, man. Map says we'll be there in 31 minutes. You'll be there in 57 because it'll just add time because of how terrible the traffic is.
That's the charm.
Subway says
maybe there's an
minutes.
illusion in New York because you are like stopping and going, right? Like through different lights and stuff. And in Chicago, it's like, I'm just stuck on this freeway forever.
I also grew up in Atlanta, which is notorious for horrible traffic. I mean, New York it doesn't got the perfect resume itself. So I mean,
but it's the best city in the world, so that's the trade-off.
Propaganda.
Best city in the world.
Kim Jong-un level.
Yo, what's going on, boys? My name's Drew. I'm calling from a little town in northern British Columbia called Prince Rupert.
Oh, shout out to
Fun
Prince
fact,
Rupert.
rainiest city in Canada. It never stops raining here. It's fucking ridiculous sometimes, not gonna lie. Anyways, my question is, me and my wife watch The Masked Singer. Wondering if you guys saw Oscar De La Hoya as the Fuzzy Peas. Yeah, that's it. Peace.
No, I did not. Can't remember the last time I tuned into weeknight cable television. But I love that you have that
I
going.
think that's on Fox. I think it's network.
Oh, is that what we call network cable?
Yeah.
Appointment weeknight television on any major network I have not done in quite some time. So didn't catch the latest episode of The Masked Singer.
I think it's from years ago. I don't think this is new.
I respect it either way. I was talking to someone this weekend. It was Tuesday, and they were like, all right, I got to bounce. I got to go watch Dancing with the Stars. And I was just like, keeping up with Dancing with the Stars week to week. They're like, oh, yeah, I vote every week. I was just like, man, I miss that, you know?
Okay, Oscar was the Fuzzy Peas in February of 2025, but he had also been on it in 2021, which I remember.
Last time I watched like Appointment was like live was I would tune into Modern Family every week when it was coming on ABC. Shout out.
Yo, what's up, boys in the back? Justin from Vancouver again.
Hey, shout out.
I remember on an older episode, you guys talked about GC potentially being on a Misfits card one time. You know, who would be in the corner, like if you could be trained by Tom Aspinall. My question is, if you guys could all fight somebody, A, who would it be? And B, who is going to be in your corner? The rules for this, I got some rules.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be 4 people in your corner.
All right.
One's got to be your striking coach. One's got to be your BJJ coach. And one has got to be your wrestling coach. Pick who your dream coaches are for those ones. And then your 4th can be a wild card. So anybody you want can be the coach as well in your corner. Only other rule that I have is you cannot use Khabib or Islam, anybody from Team Khabib, for your wrestling coach. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out answer because it's an easy one. Also, I want you all to go in the order of Frank, GC, then Rick.
Okay.
And you guys cannot choose the same coaches.
Oh,
okay.
Let me know what you guys think.
I like that.
Peace.
All right, Frankie, you're
all
up
right.
first,
Are we
bro.
doing snake draft? Like, how do we do it?
Okay,
Eugene
yeah.
Bierman.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Wait, hold on.
draft. Let's start with who you're fighting.
Shit. I'm gonna fight Ian.
Ian Machado Garry.
Machado Garry.
What?
Enjoy that, bro.
All right,
Enjoy
great.
getting iced in the first 15
Look,
seconds.
again, I'm the reason there is a cage. I'm going to be trying to run out of the cage.
Okay.
Try to climb.
All right.
I am.
Who are you fighting?
I don't have a name. Someone 5'8" or under. That I have a sizable reach advantage over.
You want the Jake Paul Tank Davis.
That I know I can run circles in cardio around. I'm here for a squash match. I'm here to get put over. I'm not here to get knocked out.
So if you're
enjoy
5'8",
Ian Garry, Frank.
if you're 5'8" out there
Garry.
and you want to sign up to fight GCM Misfits, you can get the work.
You also have to be terrible at fighting. This needs to be like we're on Bet Online and it's like, oh, did you see GC's minus 2,500 this weekend?
All right. So who I'm fighting is Vishal. Shout out Vishal, my buddy. I'm just sick of his really horrible takes.
Oh, I thought this was like a friendly agreement. This is like you need to get some frustration out on him.
The takes are just so bad,
Yeah,
like
hell yeah.
horribly bad.
Fuck you, Vishal.
In the group chat, I need to show him what's what. So it's Vishal. I'll go first, coach, and then we'll circle back. I'm gonna go with the wrestling coach first, and I'm going Hamzat Chimaev.
Okay. I'll go wrestling coach as well, and I'm taking Merab Dvalishvili.
Oh, that's a good one.
Georgian's.
Give me Chael.
Are you going wrestling? All right, so you're going wrestling. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Now
you go,
pick
Frank.
another coach, BJJ, striking, or wild card.
For BJJ, DJ.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't mind
That's
that.
a good one.
BJJ for me or striking? No, I'm going to take a striking coach. I'm going to keep the Georgian Alliance together, and I'm bringing Ilya on.
It's a good one. I'm going BJJ, and I'm going Craig Jones.
Okay.
Craig seems to be kind of like having a moment as the coach
Nice.
right now. Striking or wild card? I'm going to go striking coach, and I'm going to take Alexander Volkanovski.
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice.
I feel like I get a little bit more, Like I feel like I'm kind of cheating a little bit there, but
I'm going to go BJJ coach. This one's going to surprise a lot of people.
okay.
I'm going out to Manchester. Wigan.
I see what you're doing here.
I ain't grabbing Tommy, though.
Oh.
I'm going Andy.
Oh, yeah.
It's also going to look great because I'm going to be on a team of guys that are like 5'8", 5'9". So they're going to be like, man, GC's huge. And it's like me, Ilya, and Merab. Man, he looks huge in there. And look at that team he's got together. But by association, Tom's supporting. So Tom's also there. Charlie's there. So we got
in the crowd, like,
we got the boys like, oh, and also in the front row, like Tom's there and everything like that. So now I'm liking this team I'm putting together here. Frankie, you got to go striking and wild card.
Striking and wild card.
Yes.
Yeah, you're finishing up because it's Snake.
So striking, I want Francis.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good one.
And for wild card, Eugene.
Wow, Eugene Behrman's your wild card.
Yeah.
All right, so like your head coach is Eugene Behrman.
Yeah, I'm not the best at this.
Nah, I feel like you actually assembled a pretty sick team. You did all right.
Yeah, they'll all help me get out of the cage. They're like, "Come on, Frank." And then,
Right, they're not actually coaching
and then
you
Francis
because
is
they're
like,
just helping you run.
fuck is that?
And I'm like, Francis, not now. Like, please, just get me out of here.
I got mine. For the vibes, for the mental coaching, for the mental toughness here, I'm going Yuri Prohashka as
that's a good one.
as the mental coach. We'll be meditating beforehand. Man, what a squad we'll be pulling up. Hell yeah.
I'm going with undefeated boxer.
Nice.
Ariel Helwani. That's my wild card in the corner. Shout out to Paige.
Terrence Crawford. That was a fun exercise.
Ariel Helwani.
That was a fun exercise. Yeah, these misfit rumors are not true. I'm thinking like if it ever happened to be like white collar boxing or something, like just like something to be like, yeah, I went out there and did it. So yeah. I do love how like I'm the only one that's like pushed. Everyone's always like, GC's gonna fight.
There was a time back in the
okay.
day that I got pushed very hard.
Yeah.
It was like, you're gonna fight, right?
Yeah.
By Ariel. And I'm like, no, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
That was fun. Great call. Great call. I love the rules and the stipulations.
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
fun.
What's up, boys? It's Danny here from Charlotte. I'm
What's up,
listening to
Danny?
the episode from Thursday, and I'm hearing you guys talk about Tank versus Jake, and I need Rick to clarify something because he keeps saying it's not the skill differential between Tank and Jake that's going to be the reason Jake wins. It's simply the size, right? It's only the size. He's going to put his hand on his head, and he's going to windmill punch.
He said that too.
However, we watched a couple years ago Floyd Mayweather box Logan Paul. Logan Paul is 6'2", so 1 inch taller than Jake, and Floyd is 5'8", which is probably a lie in its own right. He's probably 2-3 inches taller than Tank. So the difference is probably an inch, 2 inches, right? And Floyd dog walked Logan. So clearly in that fight, it wasn't the size, it was the skill. So I'm wondering, Rick, are you actually crediting Jake without trying to credit Jake for his boxing skills and saying he is too good of a boxer for Gervonta Tank Davis' skill set despite the differential in size? Or are you saying Tank is not a good enough boxer to negate the size difference? Because we watched this a couple years ago over, I believe, 8 rounds, and Floyd dog-walked Logan across the entire thing. So it wasn't a size thing there. So I'm just a little confused because I'm trying to put my money somewhere, and I'm convinced Tank seems like the value at -215, considering what I watched Floyd do to Logan. But you're trying to convince me that Jake is guaranteed money in a fight where the skill differential is going to be about as apparent as any other big fight we've seen this year. So need a little clarification here. Thanks, lads. Enjoy.
I've got you. No problem. Let me clarify a few things for you. One, it's not that it's size independent of skill. It's size plus the skill levels. And to measure that out, Floyd Mayweather is better than Tank Davis by a significant margin. Tank is not as good as Floyd. Jake is better than Logan by a significant margin. So therefore, like, the skill gap in those two fights was actually much, much larger for Mayweather and Logan Paul. Secondarily, I think you're misremembering Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Floyd actually didn't really dog walk him, which was the unfortunate part, but also evidence in support of the argument that I'm making, that is, like, at a certain point, the size is way too much. And that is a perfect example of it. Like, if Logan was a little bit smaller, Floyd could have done whatever he wanted to Logan. But because Logan was so big, he actually kept it relatively competitive. Now, there's a question of whether, like, Floyd even gave a shit. It was an exhibition. Was he really even trying to, like, do anything? Certainly you could ask that question. But it is it's the best example. I encourage you to rewatch that fight, that, like, Logan really wasn't out of that fight just because of how massive he was. So yeah, I'm firmly in the camp that I think Jake Paul is just going to be too big for Tank. And no, he is not as good as Floyd Mayweather. And he is much better than his brother Logan. So I'm still on Jake and will be on Jake.
Also, not for nothing, Jake is a much better boxer than Logan.
Much better.
Has ever been.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much once again for everything you do. Called in a couple of weeks ago. I'm the guy that's been listening to Ariel since the beginning, basically, and all of you guys for a long time. So thank you. I love that I got a little drop from Frankie, a little D1 Glazer drop. I feel honored. And Frankie, let me tell you, man, I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way, but what you mean to many of us is, I would say it's like, you are to us MMA fans in this show what the baseline is to Billie Jean, to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. Great song. I'm sure it'd be a great song without the bass, but with the bass, it takes it up to a whole different level. So thank you for everything you do.
Comparison.
You bring it all together. That little nugget with Mary Tyler Moore Sr. had me dying. And of course, you messed it up with Edward James almost being Selena's mom. I know that's a mistake, and even Tom Brady threw some interceptions. So anyway, you're the best, Frank. Thank you for all your drops. Thank you for making us laugh with all those little nuggets that you throw our way. And especially that one at the end of this last episode, the new one from that caller that said, thank you very much. That was a pretty good one, man. So anyway, Rick, Andy, Jordan, GC, of course, Frankie and Ariel, you guys are amazing, and I love you very much. Thank you for being part of our lives again. Thank you.
Amazing.
Greg, you're the baseline.
I'll take it.
To Billie Jean. Also,
Billie
him
Jean.
picking up on
Quincy
the
Jones,
very
pretty-
end, saying the thank you very much call. That was great.
Aw.
That was sweet. Thank you for that.
Hey boys, this is Jono. I'm from Canada, live in Brooklyn, longtime UFC fanatic. My question is, after a successful victory or a knockout and the UFC fighter is emotional and cheering or jumping on the cage, why are the athletic commission officials swarming them? If they're on the cage, why are they always trying to get them to come down? They won't let them celebrate. I just never understood it. Just give the fighters some space to celebrate. And Justin Gaethje has backflipped and almost landed on these athletic commission officials several times. There's going to be an injury. So that's my question. Why are they there? Why are they trying to tame the emotions of the victor? Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, it's to try to prevent injury from slipping off the cage. I mean, we've seen Terrence McKinney climb up there, and then when he landed down, he like snapped his ankle. Just like don't want injuries to happen. And also they have to step in as well just in case the referee can't contain the fighter and the fighter tries to go at the other fighter again.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like you're talking about the commissioners almost getting hit by Justin Gaethje is exactly why they make them not do that, because they don't want Justin Gaethje to backflip onto a commissioner. Also, like we have seen Khabib Nurmagomedov literally jump over the cage and attack somebody. Like it is in the interest of minimizing any risk of injury, minimizing anything breaking out. It's just to keep it contained.
Yeah, like 99% of the time, the loser is graceful in defeat. But like, I mean, look at Jean Silva losing to Diego Lopez. Like, you talk about the emotions of the win. Like, there's also the emotions of the loss, and some of these guys take it incredibly personally.
Yeah, and that's a great example because, as you see, there are people between them. There are people trying to like prevent them from doing anything. If there weren't, like, who knows where that goes? So I think it serves a purpose. Sometimes it's, you know, a little bit. I mean, we've seen some incredible celebrations, right? Like, it's not like a commissioner was tackling Israel Adesanya after he pulls out the bow and arrow. You just got to kind of keep it safe.
Yeah, and sometimes you just can't stop Justin Gaethje from climbing up there.
And he does it anyway.
Backflip.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Maven from Toronto calling again. Please ignore my last call because I fully fucked up. But I was just wondering, what's one of your guys' craziest traveling stories? Something that will always stick by you and that kind of like a conversation piece. For me, it was when last year I was traveling in Thailand to do Muay Thai, and I specifically went to Tiger Muay Thai on a certain day to hopefully train with Rafael Sadiq so he does it faster. But unfortunately, he was actually training for a fight then, so he wasn't teaching, and I was super bummed out about that. And on the last day of my trip, I was like, fuck it, let me go to the Tiger Muay Thai shop to get some gear, and who do I see walking out at the right moment as soon as I get there? It's Aziz, and I'm tripping balls. And I go up to him just asking for a photo, and it ended up being like a 15-minute walk up and down the street with him just casually shooting the shit like he's been one of my bros for the longest time, and it just blew my mind. And he was even giving me like some secret intel that at the time, this was last year-ish, he was training for a fight with Poirier, and in my mind, I'm like, what a banger that would have been. But yeah, that's my story. I just want to hear if you guys have anything like that too, because I feel like you guys have some wild stories that we don't really get to hear about. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.
Man, mine wasn't work, but if like we're talking about like celebrities and just like weird interactions, I was in Paris, France, just on vacation. This is in 2022. If you've been watching the show for a minute, like did like a hit from there or whatever. But I went to dinner one night in Paris. And I sit down at a table at this nice restaurant there, and I look to my right, and it's John Hamm sitting at the table next to me. And I was just like, holy shit, it's John Hamm. Like, big fan of his, Mad Men, the Kimmy Schmidt show. He has some unbelievable roles. See John Hamm, don't say anything to him. I'm obviously like, just let this dude eat his dinner. I'm like, man, that's crazy. And then afterward, I'm walking, and the French Open is going on at the time, and Maria Taylor works for NBC. She went to Georgia. Walking on the street, see her right after dinner. I was like, oh, Maria, go dogs, blah, blah, blah. She says, go dogs back and everything like that. Walking to a pharmacy to grab something after dinner. Going to the pharmacy, like I mentioned, the French Open is going on. Turn the corner, bump into this woman. I was just like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. And it's Coco Gauff. All within like a 2.5 hour period. Wow. I was like, damn, something's going down in Paris tonight. So yeah, that would probably be the craziest like celebrity interaction within one night I have ever had.
Yeah, I'm not gonna top that. That's good enough for me. Wow.
I think you speak for all of us, man.
Okay, all right. One lucky night in Paris.
I've seen one like that.
Hey, gentlemen. Logan calling from Vancouver, Canada.
Another Canadian. God,
shout out.
Big shout out, bro.
Yeah, a couple things. One,
let's get into it.
Just wondering if you guys could give me some words of encouragement. I'm going through a very difficult time. I found out last week my dog has about a month to live, and then I found out yesterday that my mom has pancreatic cancer, which is the cancer with the highest mortality rate. Really struggling, so I could use some encouragement. But I did have a question regarding UFC and Paramount in 2026. Outside of the United States, do you think it'd be possible to get Paramount prescription in Canada and then get a VPN and change your location to the States and still have access to the pay-per-views? Let me know. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, for starters, like, hang in there, man. Like, I'm sorry about the unfortunate stretch you're going through, but it will pass. We're pulling for your mom, sending good vibes your way.
Yeah, incredibly sorry to hear about your dog as well.
Yeah.
Actually, a next door neighbor that I grew up with, she's now in her 60s. She also got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the beginning of this year. I mean, it's just a tough one to take because, as you mentioned, like, it's like the highest mortality rate among them. It's sort of like this like silent killer. It comes with no symptoms really. She had stage 3. She was able to get a surgery, like a cutting edge surgery, and she just finished chemo, and like right now they're saying she's good. So hopefully the story can be similar for your mom. Really, really am sorry to hear that. I know that's difficult, and the parlay with the news of your dog not having much time as well. I really am sorry, and like the only thing to say is to hang in there. Like you just got to kind of ride the wave and try to stay as mentally tough as you can, because that's brutal news to hear. So really am sorry about that.
And another thing I've thought about when it comes to stuff like this, right? Obviously, we're getting to an age where we're starting to have relatives and people passing, and it's just a reality of life, and it's an unfortunate thing. Is make time for yourself, because I feel like the natural instinct, right, is obviously to just like go all in and just think about others and find ways, but you tend to like kind of like shut yourself out. You tend to like cut yourself off, and that's no way to be. So just try to find those moments of time. Obviously be there to support your mom, no doubt. Like that is priority number one. But make sure you're finding time for yourself and making sure you find those things that give you joy still, so that it's not all about that, right? It can't always be about the doom and the gloom and the misery. There has to be those moments of light, and try to find those as much as you possibly can. But yeah, pulling for you, man. Like that is devastating, but you know, this will pass. This will pass, and there are better times ahead. As far as the thing, like, I think Canada's Sportsnet, I think that just became the broadcast partner. I imagine they might have the fights. I don't know how that's going to work, because obviously here in the US, those were on a pay-per-view model, and then now it's switching to Paramount where everything's on there. I don't know if you'll even need a VPN, because I imagine you might be able to watch those events on Sportsnet. I actually don't know. Somebody better to answer this might be Aaron Brodenstetter, who I'm sure if you sent him a tweet, he might be able to answer. I don't know the Canadian broadcast part of it, but I don't think you'll need to. I think you'll probably get those events, but I'm speaking with not a lot of certainty here.
What's good? It's your boy Bodkins.
What's up, Bodkins?
In light of Dana White being on 60 Minutes and GC's dad watching, shout out GC's dad. I got me thinking, if you guys could sit down with anybody in the fight game, past, present, whatever it may be, and have an in-depth interview, who would it be? Y'all stay blessed. Have a great weekend. Bodkins out.
Peace out, Bodkins. Man, that's a good question.
It depends on what we mean by in-depth. If this means that they're going to sit down and actually answer the questions, right? They're going to there's no alternative. They must answer what is being asked. I can think of a few.
And are we talking to them in that time, or are we talking to them now?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
Like, am I talking to 1977 or something, Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, I mean, that could be pretty freaking cool.
Are you talking to 2016 Conor McGregor? Or are you talking to Conor McGregor now?
I would want to talk to if they had to answer. If I could get true answers to my questions, I think Dana White is probably the most interesting one.
Yeah.
Because everything's kind of like, a facade. There's a little bit too close to the chest. There's so many stories you potentially
Did
have.
he clarify whether we're on the record or not? Or you would literally just be discussing shit with them? Dana White would be...
It's assumed it's on the record, like 60...
Is it?
I mean, that's my opinion.
I just feel like there's so many stories to tell there, but it would be... There's no chance of getting them unless the stipulations are thus, right? Like,
I mean, if I can just have like a behind the scenes talk, Dana White would be pretty fascinating to hear about, like fights getting made, fights falling through.
Back in 2016, when you were doing that would be a really
that's a good question. Muhammad Ali also would not be.
Muhammad Ali would be insane, just to be in the presence of somebody like that. Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Steven. Calling you guys from Oxnard, California.
Hey, shout out.
I just finished my first 5K.
Hey,
back since getting back into running.
Woo!
So shout out to Strava.
Congrats,
Thumbs up to the app.
Shout out to Strava. Go join the
This
group.
is my soft push for Rick.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Hard push.
Join the app. Join
Be
Strava.
a big pop. Be a big pop. Free to download.
Just download it. Maybe get you and that beautiful family. Go for a walk on Sunday.
Get the running
turn
stroller.
Off the location, turn off the map. Hell, even turn off the time. Just go for a nice 1 mile stroll. Post it. Say what's up to your boys. All right. Thank you guys. Love you. Love the show. Love everything you guys do. Have a great day.
You're the man, brother. Welcome back to the running game. Congrats on your first 5K. It doesn't even have to be a run. It could just be a walk. Be a big pop.
I go to the park with the kids all the time, but I feel like that's a cop out. If I was to ever do it, it'd have to be a run.
Walk your way there, man. 10 steps a day.
But no, not for now. Shout out to the Strava, though. I mean, you have really built something.
I mean, we're up to over 300 members now.
Wow.
Fight Day 5K, UFC 320. Let's go, boys.
And girls.
And girls, yes.
What's up, boys in the back?
What's
it's
up,
Nico calling again from Miami. I'm looking for some advice today.
Another Strava guy.
Earlier this week, I
track.
fucked up pretty bad, made a pretty poor decision. And I'm not sure whether or not I'll have to face the consequences for it, but I'm super anxious and nervous about that now because, one, the consequences are pretty bad, and two, I really don't want to disappoint my parents. So
parents get
my question for you guys today is, have you fucked up before and
Nope.
felt how I feel right now?
Never have.
And how did you move forward?
Yeah.
Thanks for putting on the good shows and
You're the man, Nico.
entertaining and hopefully giving me some good advice.
Okay.
Thanks. Listen,
We can't sit here.
entertaining and hopefully giving me about how I feel right now.
Frank.
And how did you move forward?
Frank trying to really throw you in the doghouse.
Can't speculate too much on what happened.
Yeah.
Parents getting involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucked up. Whether he's gonna have to face the consequences.
I mean, I think definitively we can say we've all fucked up.
Everyone has fucked up.
Yeah, speak for yourselves.
A million times over in my life, had to face the consequences for it, regretted doing something. Then when I realized I did something, not handling something quick enough and being like, why didn't I just handle that a week ago and this would all be done?
Yeah.
You say move forward. You're going to move forward. It doesn't sound like this is a health concern or anything. It
time
sounds like
doesn't
you just
stop.
messed up. It doesn't sound like it's criminal charges. Hopefully not. Knock on wood, Nico. And like, hopefully it doesn't affect, if this is the Nico I'm thinking of, he goes to Miami. Hopefully it doesn't affect, school or athletics or anything like that. But like, you're going to move forward. The only way to continue forward is to face it, move past it, and continue moving forward and not let a situation like this arise again.
The key part is he said his parents, so at least he didn't say the police. So hopefully it's nothing
Plot twist, they are
too bad. Oh, his parents are the cops.
What if
he... Fuck.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't have to do with anything of like getting kicked out of school. Hopefully it doesn't have to do with anything legal. And hopefully it has nothing to do with health.
As a habitual fucker upper, this too shall pass, and just keep saying that.
It will absolutely pass, and the consequences, whatever they are, you just have to face them because unfortunately, you did fuck up. So you have to own up to it. You have to face it, and you have to move forward.
The thing that always gives me comfort at any time, every time I mess up, is taking that moment right then, right now. If you haven't done it yet, take the moment right now. Accept the fact that it's over. Accept the fact that there is nothing you can do to go back in time. You can't go back to that moment. You can't change anything. I wish I could have did this. I wish I could have done that. None of that is going to help you right now. So it's useless. Don't waste your time doing any of that shit. Accept right this moment that you messed it up, and then figure out what the game plan is to fix it. As GC said, you got to move forward. You got to move on. You got to take the next step. Whatever that thing is to fix it, do it now. Don't delay. Don't go, but if I do this, maybe it'll go away, this and that. All you're going to be doing is wasting time.
Got to face it.
There's nothing that's going to happen between now and then that's just going to like magically solve this issue, nor is there anything you can do to go back and solve it.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Do it.
The way I always say that is you can't control anything, only how you react to it. So
Win or learn, as Pete Carroll says. And honestly,
as Pete Carroll says?
He always says that, win or learn. If you feel the fire coming and like your parents are going to find out, it's much better for them to find out from you than it is from whoever else.
You also, by the way, I know like as a parent now myself, sometimes you're anticipating reaction that isn't going to be as bad as you actually think it is. Especially if it's something like pretty bad. A lot of like, if my daughter came to me and it was like really bad, my first instinct, instead of being like, I'm going to kill you, is I'm going to help you. Like, let's get out of the situation together. So give your parents a little credit.
Actually, a quick story here.
Story time.
Freshman year in college, I'm going down to Georgia Southern, where I went before I transferred into UGA.
Shout
out. Had been caught partying once or twice in high school, and they have a 3-strike system at Georgia Southern. And like if you get caught underage drinking or something like that, you get a strike. It's a 3-strike policy. And if you get a third one, you're kicked out of the dorms, and like they contemplate whether kicking you out of school. They tell you that at orientation and everything. My parents are with me, and my parents like get in the car afterward, and they're like, if you get a strike, we better find out from you. If we find out from school administration, we are going to absolutely lose it. We better find out from you. I swear to God, Connor. I was like, I'm not going to get a strike. I'm not going to get a strike. Fast forward 2 weeks in to being at college.
Fucking hell.
Big dog let off the leash. I am going home one night. And one of my friends, had maybe had a drink or two underage. One of my friends, the like emergency poles, was like, man, how do these things work? Opens up the door of it, that just immediately sets it off. You don't have to push a button or anything. Sets it off. Jet. I'm gone. Sprint up into my dorm and everything like that. Turn all the lights off, lay down in my bed. I'm just like, oh God. Friend calls me. Hey, man. The police caught me. You have to come down. I was just like, what the fuck do you mean I have to come down? Don't tell them that I'm with you. They're like, nah, man, like you got to come down or they're gonna come up, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, are you snitching on me? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Go down. Guy breathalyzes me. He's like, oh, so you've been drinking tonight. Gonna have to give you a strike. I'm just like, God.
It's the Listerine when I got up into my dorm.
Okay, but this dude really did dry snitch on you.
Oh, yeah, never talked to this kid
You
again.
were gone.
Almost beat his ass. Gone. Made it back to my room, everything.
And he called to bring you back.
His dorm was further away, and he got caught. It was real life.
Do you think it's because they saw two of you running?
No, there's no way.
No shit, but they don't know who he is.
But I was gone. Yeah, bitch move on his part. But we don't have to get into that.
If he's listening, you fucked up.
Go down, get the strike. I'm like, no. I have to call my mom the next morning. Next morning, get up, call my mom, explain everything. Pissed. She's furious. And I ended up never getting a strike. The cop just like never registered it. So
you're preemptive.
Look at that.
Preemptive called her.
While we're telling stories,
but guess
I have
what?
a
You were
quick one.
fine.
Shout out. Yes,
That's the moral of
That
the
is the
story.
biggest thing. When I was calling my mom, heart pounding. I'm like, fuck. Called her, and look at me now. I'm fine. You're gonna be fine.
It's all good. You'll be
High school years, I'm told by my parents, like, there's no real curfew. Just call us when you're on your way home, and then let us know when you're made it home. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yep.
So I used to maybe party out in the warehouses. If you know, you know. And I came home.
You know.
Told my parents goodnight, went to bed, woke up, the next day around lunchtime, go sit in the dining room. My mom sits down. She's like, so, came home this morning. I'm like, uh-huh. She's like, were you all drunk and stuff? I was like, no, sober as a cat. She's like, Frank, please explain to me why you grabbed my legs and kissed my ass goodnight. And I was like, well, it was dark. And
Your mom?
She was like, I wake up at 6:30 in the morning, and here comes my 16-year-old son. I'm like, good night, Mom.
And you kissed her on the ass.
Yep.
Frank, some of these things are not.
Why the fuck did you just tell that story?
Suitable for the
You
air.
couldn't have waterboarded that out of me. You kissed your mother's ass?
We all fuck up.
Nico, you're gonna be just fine. I swear to God, you couldn't torture that out of me. You could send me to Guantanamo.
It's
and
not
I'm
as
not giving
bad
that
as
one
you were
up.
making it out to be.
Nico,
pretty
whatever
bad,
you
bro.
did, hopefully Frank
Nico,
lessened
whatever
your
you did,
nerves
it's not
about
as
it.
bad as that.
If you think you're at the
And then
bottom,
tell it
there's
to
there's
over
a deeper
1,000
bottom
people.
that you're unaware of.
Tell it to over 1,000 people live watching right now. Frankie, bro.
What's happening, boys?
I can't believe we're just moving
New
on from that.
PFL CEO,
What's up, Donnie?
John Martin.
Oh, John
Calling
Martin.
in,
Oh, Johnny.
finishing up a like 10K, and I wanted to check in on this great show that, our leadership has been using for a long time now.
Sounds like
as
Don.
the global voice of the PFL. And, wanted to check in, appreciate the kind words, and pass them along to our friend and comrade, PFL founder and chair, Don Davis. And
Sounds like Don.
yeah, just wanted to let everyone know, clarify a few things. We are doing away with the tournament format as the default mode of the PFL, and of course, no man affliction. But we are not against using it in some cases, okay, in special events. And everyone's asking, what's happened to the mailman affliction statistic? What's happened to the regional?
They're asking John Martin that?
Organizations and listen.
John, are you
Everyone
on a
knows.
run right now?
He
All the
sounds like
fans
he's
want to see the best
exercising.
mailman fight the best mailman. So
Well, John is in
we're
good
gonna make
shape.
it happen.
He keeps himself trim.
we're going to consolidate these cards, and it's going to be great. Now, Frank, going to be disappointed to learn that not a big video game player. I don't have an
John
Xbox
Martin.
either. But Connor, I'm a big reader. So
I thought he was going to say
what are you
Ron.
reading? Just about to finish up Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut. You went to high school in America. You probably read Slaughterhouse-Five or Clash. This is his debut novel. It's really great. It's basically about clankers taking over human jobs and robbing people of their dignity. Figured that out all the way back in 1952. So check it out. Great to check in, and you'll be hearing a lot more from me. Signing off, John Martin. Take care.
Thanks, John Martin.
Thanks, John Martin, who sounds an awful lot like Don Davis doing a John Martin impression.
What am I reading right now? The Measure. It's about a book where boxes show up on everybody's doorsteps. Everybody gets one. 22 years and older. The measure of your life is within, and you open it, and it's a string, and it tells you how long you have to live.
Ooh.
And it's just like, would you open it? Would eventually the government mandate you to open it? The job mandate you? How would society react?
Right.
It's a fascinating book. I only got 50 pages left, but it's quite good. It's a page turner for sure.
You and John start a book club.
Come on, Johnny. I'm actually going to a book club this weekend. Shout out.
What's up, fellas? This is Matt from Brooklyn, New York City.
Shout out.
Yes, shout out.
Nailed
I
it.
want to shout out to Connor Burks,
Hey.
a.k.a. GC, a.k.a. Georgia Connor, a.k.a. Lucas Bozaki, a.k.a. some European soccer player. I want to shout out for setting up the Uncrowned Strava group.
Yes.
I've got my first jiu-jitsu competition coming up in November, and I've got to get down to 170 pounds.
Sick.
So I'm getting a lot of road work in, and this group is just more motivation to get out there.
Hell yeah.
Thanks. Anyway, this is a full circle moment for me. Cast your mind back almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
The year's 2016. MMA journalist and media personality Ariel Helwani often refers to this year as Sweet 16. MMA is legalized in New York State, and UFC 205 will be the debut event in MSG.
Yes.
A young Eric Jackman, a.k.a. New York Rick, a.k.a. Gout Gout. Still don't really see the resemblance there. Anyway, he had
that's my
2
brother.
tickets to 205 and was running a competition to be his +1.
Yes.
I sent my entry to the competition from the start line of the New York City Marathon. Unfortunately, Brian Boom Kelleher submitted a pretty kick-ass song, and he won the ticket. It's fine. Anyway, I just wanted to give a quick pushback against the idea that there's no stars in the organization these days. Sure, we don't have stars on the level of Conor or Ronda, but I think the UFC still has stars that will help to grow the sport. My most anticipated fight is this weekend's clash with Yuri and Khalil.
Yes, sir.
And previously, a highlight was Yuri and Alex Poatan. These guys are ripped straight from the pages of comic books and video games. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's it. I'm out of here.
My man, what a call.
Legend. Are you aware of the lore of Rick's Ticks?
Rick's Ticks?
Yes.
Oh, I knew you guys did it, and I knew Brian Kelleher won.
No. See, this is the thing. Brian Kelleher did not win. The lore of Rick's Ticks is Kelleher submitted like 7 different songs. He was very good. I picked somebody else. I did not pick the actual guy who would then go on to fight in the UFC like 6 months later. I picked a girl named who I don't remember her real name, but she went by D. Diaz. And her thing was doing videos where she pretended to be a Diaz brother, and it was quite funny. She was a lovely lady. We went, we saw the fights. There were some other people there that also were there on behalf of DraftKings. And never heard from her again, never saw her again. I think she kind of disappeared. She just went to the UFC. But the story was like, damn, you fucking idiot, Eric. Like Brian Kelleher, who ends up going to fight on the UFC, was the guy. But yeah, I got to go to the MSG card, hang in a box, and take somebody with me. It was crazy.
Bro, let's bring back Rick's Picks. Rick's Ticks.
Yeah.
Next,
we need a partner, and we can do it.
Man. We need Rick's Ticks, bro. That'd be fun.
What up? It's the real Don Dada 5000. And just because John Martin's the new CEO doesn't mean you're going to stop hearing from me. Wanted to check in and couldn't forget to promote.
Good to have you, Don.
Well, I'm sure you boys have talked about it already on the show today.
We did.
PFL Champions Series Dubai live this Friday, October 3rd, starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, streaming on the ESPN app. You got Nurmagomedov versus Hughes, the lightweight world title. You got Anderson versus Nurmagomedov in the light heavyweight world title. Magomedov versus Pettis, and on and on and on. It is a fantastic card, top to bottom.
It is.
And I want to keep it brief today, so just jumping right ahead into the I'm Back Frank video game segment. Frank, have you seen the new Kojima trailer, OD Knock? And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's an upcoming horror game. I believe it's going to be on the PS6, so way, way upcoming, but showed an incredible teaser trailer. Scanned an entire real-life haunted environment, and Kojima aspires to be the first person to scan an actual ghost. Yes, the man wants to prove the existence of life after death, all for a video game. So curious as your thoughts on that. Is the PFL event this weekend a big snooze or big news? Thanks. Great to check in with you boys. Talk to you next time. Take care.
I think he was asking, is it a big snooze or is it big news? It's big news. Frank, you excited for that video game?
Hell yeah. I would call it less of a video game and more of like a life experience.
Shout out to Kojima. Good to hear from Don, even though we also got John Martin checking.
Incredible.
Glad Don's still in the spotlight, you know? Is that it? Oh.
What is up, boys in the back? This is Vaughn calling from Roosevelt Island, New York.
Wow.
On Roosevelt Island, in Roosevelt Island. I'm getting married this weekend. Shout out to my beautiful bride,
congrats.
Alexa. We came to see you guys in Ariel in Newark. Great show. Hope to go again. Reason for my call is when Dustin Poirier fought Michael Chandler at MSG, they showed Dustin walking out through one of the back halls, and he saw Justin Gaethje, and he goes up to him and goes, "Hey man, doing a launch tomorrow for my hot sauce in Brooklyn Brewery. Come through." So I see that, and I'm like, oh shit, that's down the street. So I look it up, get tickets, end up going there, getting the hot sauce, getting the picture, meeting Dustin. Pretty sick. So my question for you guys is, have you ever been watching a broadcast or a UFC event and caught something that maybe wasn't meant for TV or only you guys caught? Thanks, and enjoy the fight this weekend.
Ben Roethlisberger third down miscues. That's about all I can think of.
I have a very specific answer for this.
Okay.
When I was working at ESPN, we would get different feeds where you could isolate microphones inside the cage, and you didn't have to hear the broadcast. You didn't have to hear the nat sound. Like you could kind of pick your channels. And after one of the Kevin Holland fights, I forget which one, I wanted to hear what he was actually saying to his opponents. Like I wanted to actually, we knew he talks to his opponents, but until that point, like I didn't know what the hell he was saying to these people. And so I went back and created a supercut of every single time Kevin Holland talked to his opponents and then put that out on ESPN MMA. But it was because I was watching a Kevin Holland fight and was like, I kind of picked up like he said something, and then I went back and watched him, and I made a super cut of every single time he talked to everybody, and it kind of went viral, and that was that.
That's a good one. Good enough for me.
And that was all of them.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much for the voicemails. Thank you very much for the calls. We got any super chats, Frankie?
Damn straight we do. And to start us off is AJ saying the boys in the back need a Signal or WhatsApp for internal voice notes.
Interesting.
International voice notes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
For once, I've kind of sympathized with Frank on the reading there.
You should learn to be more sympathetic.
That was a little bit tough. Yeah, maybe we open up the old international line.
Do you Signal, Frank?
I don't have to answer that.
Is Signal not?
I don't know. I don't know what Signal is. I know WhatsApp though. Telegram.
Signal's the one that's like private.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. The
So
one
they would defeat the
where they
purpose
don't
of
track
being,
it.
Yeah, man, I signal all the time. Like that's
Wow.
stupid. All right, Osh
Jesus,
says, I used to live in Prague.
Mad about kissing his mom's ass.
Prague.
Prague. Literally changed. Great. Final Fantasy.
Never will you beat the allegations. The Frank can't read allegations are as loud as the Floyd can't read allegations at this point. Yeah, Prague, Czech Republic. Easy context clues. Thank you very much, though. We appreciate it. We appreciate it a lot. It was a fun one. It was a fun one me and Frankie did together.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
And lastly, Alexander Hurst says, mythical fighter unlocks this week. And after the Paulo haircut, Prison Break Rick, Unhinged Helwani, Well-Fed GC, Frankly Frank, cheers from the UK.
Well-Fed GC. What does that even mean?
What is that one from? Yeah.
I
guess
because
just
we
like
ate
fight
good.
feast?
Yeah. Shout out.
I definitely get the Prison Break.
Oh, yeah.
Prison Break.
Shout out to Hurst. Shout out to everyone that's in Super Chat. Shout out to everyone that's in voicemail. Shout out to you for hanging around this long. Shout out to the fight game. This is a big weekend. Remember, PFL, UFC 320, BKFC 82. There's an Octagon card in there. I think there might be some Cage Warriors. I know you got the crack tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern with one Pizzy Carroll. PFL card will already be under the way. And then a post show.
There's a post show.
After PFL, Helwani, Pizzy.
That's it.
And then Helwani's going to be getting some behind the scenes from BKFC that'll air at some point. We're going to be doing a watch party on Saturday night. You can watch UFC 320 main card with us. They'll do a post show again after that. It's a stacked weekend. We'll have all the coverage right here on Uncrowned. Don't forget uncrowned.com to read all the articles, everything there. I mean, it's dizzying how much is going on. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Saturday night. Don't forget to watch the track tomorrow. The Helwani Show Monday, whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Peace.